Back. That's better. We go back. Poof. Poof. Okay. Here we are. Let's start some stuff. Can I rename this? Nah, dude. Cool. Shit. What am I doing? I only got like a half hour before the debate starts. Let's cook up some stuff. Well, I can't do shit on this workbench anyways, it doesn't even matter. Okay. I just realized I can condense a little bit. Wait, no. I'm losing it. Okay. We're gonna leave that shit there. Not particularly, well, I'll fix it. What? I need my wood. Hip. Bam. All right. What? Why can't I use wood? Oh, there we go. So I really need to make the damn hammer. No, not the hammer. What is it called? Ooh, an antler pickaxe is probably a good idea. Even the most stubborn rocks, I need my hard antler. Shit, all right, we're going on a trek. I don't think I have. Oh, I should probably check my inventory real quick before I walk all that damn way. Man, my shit's a mess right now. I gotta bring a bunch of this stuff over. Let's start combining things. These don't weigh anything, so they're fine. I'm gonna leave these here. I just want to condense some stuff. I might have seen that. Okay. So we got that much. And then we got that much. So I'll leave that. That's great. Okay. Take the feathers out for now. Take these and put them there. Nope, that was a bad idea, actually. I don't need all of that. Trying to decide here. Holy shit. That's why. I'll drop these other ones off. Oof. I gotta do that and then... That's only 4. What? Okay. I'm gonna take that. Damn. I really want more organization to this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, go away. I have no time for your bullshit. Hold on 1 second. Whoa. They changed shit. Annoying. There it is. All right, so I'm gonna really need to reestablish somewhere up here. Somewhere around here, I'm gonna have to build a home and a damn raft to go up. So with that all said, I'm trying to figure out which way makes more sense. Okay. Well, let's make the trek. Holy. Yo, thanks. Peach seeds. Why is shit just... Okay. Yo. What is up? I'm just back playing Valheim for a little bit before the debate starts because I think it's supposed to start in like 20 minutes. Fair enough. To each their own. Who knows? Maybe that'll change for you. I don't know. Okay. Have fun with your karaoke stuff. Thank you. Good to see your name in here. Feel free to hop back on the texts and shit. I'm going the wrong way. Damn it. Holy. Take that, little bitch. See, it's stuff like that. That's why I need that antler pickaxe. Why do they both decide to fucking take a shit in here? Oh, you're washed out, Margot. Nah. Oh, well. Maybe next time. Yep, straight. Just making sure that's the button. Indeed it is. Which is great to know. Because I gotta start figuring out these mechanics. All right. Almost back at the humble first abode. Should just destroy that shit. Meh. All right. Ah, son of a bitch. Okay, now, whoop. Why is that a level 3? Come on, there we go. Isn't this supposed to be a level 4? Like, did I not? I'm gonna try rebuilding it. I'm gonna try this. No, it's still level 4. What the fuck? Let's do like that. Now, I already have leather stuff, right? Yeah. So it's the antler pickaxe, which should, yep. Give me that shit. Now, what do I do? Oh, I guess it, yeah. Something like that. Let's just do that. Jesus. Holy, that's way better. Dude, I need to go kill some more trolls. What the fuck? Oh. All right. I'm doing it. I don't give a shit. What do I want first? Give me them pants. Or wait, tunic, sorry. Oof, I just got way stronger. I felt it. I just fucked up. Give me that. No, give me that. Okay. We gone. Whoa. Whoa, you bring what? Who brings tidings? The fuck? Oh, hey. Okay, first off, I actually kind of want to build just a little, like, throw shit away area. How is this supposed to work? They don't even connect. I don't like that at all, but you know what? It's the tunic, right? Okay. Fuck! Okay, look at that direction. Bitch. Yeah, all right. Black Forest is rich in minerals. There you can find copper in the ground and tin lining the ocean shore. Now go forth and strike the earth. Yeah, I know that. That's why I just built my fucking antler pickaxe. Come on. A little bit more culinary expertise. Okay. I want to check something. Shit, I need to go kill more ogres. Well, they show up at night, right? I'll see if I can find one. Yeah, let's go into here. Let's venture just a little bit. We got 8 minutes before the politics shit starts. Roughly speaking. Boy, I don't like being unable to hear the shit, if I'm being honest with you. Kind of want the immersion. Ah, here we are. Wunderbar. Nailed it. Son of a bitch. I could eat it. Man, come on. It literally just happened. Come on, there's got to be a troll somewhere, huh? Just realized I don't have a torch anymore. Not that I particularly need one at the moment. I'm so dumb. I gotta head back. I was supposed to go... Okay. I was supposed to make the damn Thor's hammer thing. I got all excited. At least it's not far away. Oh yeah. Running level 31. Can't fucking scale rocks yet, but I can run. Oh, what the fuck? I have way too much of the, what are they called? Graylings shit. So I'm literally just ignoring them. Fucking paper ankles. Yes, this. I need core wood and 5 deer trophies. Bruh, dude, calm. All right, I'll have to... Oh, I got 5. Okay. Wait, what was the... Oh, core wood, right. Shit, is that all the way at the other place? Oh, we good. All right. We done diddly did it. Now I got the big slammer. Okay. Speak softly and carry a massive hammer. I'm gonna build shit so fast it's dumb. Miss Queen, welcome. Holy shit, I feel like this thing slows you down. All the way over there. Yeah, I'm starting over. Kidding me? Whatever, whatever. Oh. Kicked his ass. All right. Overkill. Good shit. Well, why do I not? Oh, yeah, okay. We heading over there. Whoa! What is that? Hey, hey, what the fuck? Probably not a good idea to be in the water, huh? Oh, yeah. All right, we're good. Here's the test. Come on, damn it. Seriously? What the hell? This stuff's got to be something. What, like, does it not? Oh my god, I'm probably wasting. Whatever, dude. So this is generally speaking, like, right about where I want to clear out. Ooh. Maybe like right here. Nah, I might like flatten out. Okay, I think I'm gonna. Oh, hey. Cool. Bring it on, punk. Blasted. Okay. We're gonna call it here on this, and whoop. There we go. Wrong one. And we're gonna switch to the debate. Who knows? Maybe I'll pick Valheim back up after. But I really want to see how this goes.
Side, what it's doing is it's doing a 16 by 9. So something is forcing like a larger aspect ratio. That's causing it to look weird.
Hey, that should be right now. What the hell's happening?
It's got to be through whereby, because again, like if we talk.
All right, so.
It's totally the 16 by 9 ratio. I don't know why it's changing.
Oh, we got Bastiat. Wait, is Sargon gonna be on here? Please not. Okay, I'm not gonna keep playing that on the off chance that it is copyright, which I can imagine it's not since it's being played on another Twitch stream, but I would rather not run the risk. Let's put it like that. Yeah, hold up. Golly. There we go. Nothing. Ain't nothing. Okay.
We keep missing each other on like numerous panels, including Prime's after show.
Are live. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Drunken Debates. Thank you for tuning in. We are currently being streamed across multiple platforms from Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Big thank you for everybody showing up tonight. For the whole goal behind Drunken Debates is essentially a sharing of perspectives and different viewpoints on current trending events throughout not just America but the world. So the way it's going to work is that essentially I'm going to introduce a topic to our panelists. And we're going to have a 1-minute intro from each panelist on where they stand on said topic. As soon as the final panelist
I think we're good for now.
and spoken their piece, we're going to go into roundtable debates. Now, hopefully we can keep this thing cordial. We don't have to talk over each other. But if it does turn to that, then I go ahead and choose to use martial law on my own Discord, and we'll turn into hand raising, and then you'll go when you're called upon. I'll try and do my best to keep current order. If you've been here before, you know how that works. So essentially just raise your hand, and as soon as we can get to you, I'll call on you. We're gonna go by the terms and services of Twitch. No isms. Let's keep it respectful in the chat. The mods are watching. They're in the guard towers right now with their sniper rifles ready to go. So let's panelists, I ask that essentially you keep it respectful, no name calling. Let's keep this cordial. There's no need for shouting, and let's just do our best to show each other respect, and we'll go from there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with introductions. We're gonna go around the horn. We have a lot of new panelists on the show tonight, and thank you for being here. So we're basically give it an introduction about yourself, where your political standing are, what you're drinking, and where the audience can find you. So we're gonna start with Turn to Ash. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, usually I stream on Twitch. It's Turn to Ash 232. That's I don't do much really anymore as much as I used to. I switched to YouTube a little while ago.
Okay, political leanings.
Yeah, I'm conservative, Republican. I have a little bit of ideals that are my own comparatively.
Okay. Shit, okay, got that. And then going over to Chris Tech.
Hi, I'm Chris Tech. I'm currently a student from the United Kingdom. You can most likely find me on Discord. I don't really stream anywhere. I'm not that sort of guy. And I'm left-leaning, mainly social democrat.
Okay. And also a first-time panelist, so thank you for being here. And then Tiffany Starr. Go ahead.
Thank you for inviting me on, John Burke. It's a pleasure to be here. Hopefully it's not the last time. I am Tiffany Starr. I am also known as the Adult Entertainer Gamer. I do adult film. I am trans. I am socialist. And I do a lot of streams on Twitch, but most of my Twitch streams are gaming related and filled with naughty words. If you like rage gaming or just like fun games that you've probably never even heard of.
Man, this is what
twitch.tv/xxx-Tiffany_star_xxx.
Here we go. Let's do this.
Then just look up TERFs. Then just look up Tiffany Starr on YouTube. Give me her links and information. It'll be great.
Thank you for being here. Up to Rob Noor.
Hey, I'm Rob Noor. I have channels on Twitch, D-Live, YouTube, and some other places like BitChute, Rumble. My channels are either Rob Noor on Twitch, just like my name's spelled, or it's Normal America with Rob Noor. The Normal America is a play on my name, obviously. I would call myself a conservative populist. I've been doing this stream here a lot with John. I really enjoy this panel. I do a lot of debates. I like debating particularly people that disagree with me. I think it's more entertaining and more fun. And I usually have a good time with it, so consider checking out my channel. I will be drinking Iron City Pounders today. I live in rural Pounders today. I live in rural Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh is this team. So representing Pittsburgh with the Iron City.
Okay. And then over to Destiny.
Hey, my name's Destiny. Tiffany, I heard you say hi to me, but he started talking, so I didn't respond. So, thanks for your introduction. My name is Destiny.
worries, thanks.
Yeah, my name is Destiny. I'm probably most easily characterized as a social democrat. I am pretty far left-leaning on my social views as well. I talk like politics or philosophy on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Destiny, and I also like to argue with people. Yeah. And I'm drinking tonight Red Bull and pretend there's some alcohol mixed with it. All right.
Okay. And then over to American Nacho.
Testing.
I'm American Nacho.
Okay, I think we're good.
I'm American Nacho. I'm on Twitch, wherever I can get on. I started out gaming, switched to politics, you know, sort of mid-debate and stuff. I've always kept up with politics, but I felt like, you know, people are starting to want to hear this from more...
Okay, there we go.
...and not from MSM and out-of-touch celebrities. So that's why I got involved. I like to be more involved in, like, the culture side of it. I want to help improve American culture and help have productive discussions with all ideals. I'm center right constitutionalist, I guess, is mostly where I line up. And I'm drinking whiskey, drinking some Maker's Mark tonight. So it's good to meet you all, and thanks, John, for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And then last, but most certainly not least, we have Six Films Gaming. Go ahead, sir. Or six films or Six Flags? Six films. Okay. Six Films Gaming. Go ahead. It's over to you, sir.
So
God damn it, the guy's too fucking loud.
I'm conservative. I'm a law student.
This is a problem.
Really much else to say. Drinking whiskey.
Okay. Okay. What was your political leaning?
Conservative.
Andy B, welcome.
Conservative. Okay. All right. So that concludes the introductions from the guest panelists. Again, thank you for being here tonight. So, okay, we're going to go into the first topic. Now, again, we're going to go all over the spectrum of politics here. In an article just released today, we have Chuck Schumer, Kristen Gillibrand calling on Andrew Cuomo to resign. Now, if you haven't really been watching the news as of late, Andrew Cuomo has now racked up a total of 10 sexual harassment/assault accusations from various different women. And the article is reading, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senator Kristen Gillibrand issued a joint statement Friday in which they called on New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign as the governor faces dueling over his alleged cover-up of nursing home deaths and sexual harassment allegations brought forth by the last 7 women. My question to the panelists is that there has been no formal trial or investigation completed yet, and already he's been asked or called to resign and step down. What type of precedents do you think this sets for the rest of America when we actually say that we believe in due process, and yet he's already been asked to, or he's been called to resign by political leaders? Tiffany, you're our guest. You're up. You have 1 minute intro as far as what you think, and then we're gonna go around the horn. So go ahead, Tiffany.
Fuck, you're starting with me already? Holy shit. Fuck, you're starting with me already? Holy shit. Alright, anyways, I didn't even get to infused vodka with no sugar and no carbs, with mint and what is it? Watermelon, and the other one is strawberry and guava. So it's good stuff. Secondly, I haven't really, since this is already being dropped on me, I haven't really heard about this story so far. But if he's getting this many accusations off the bat from I think it said 30 different women, just with a quick Google, all women should probably be like not believed, but at least taken seriously, and there should be investigations into this. And I don't think he should suffer any repercussions until they come up with conclusive evidence that he has participated in any of these. What's the word I'm thinking of? No, not sexy, babe. Accusations. I'm pretty sure that's not the right word, but I'm getting distracted by a girlfriend. Put clothes on.
Allegations?
Okay, real quick.
I'm not sure what they were going for.
When you're doing your intros, your outros, just so I don't distract you when you're talking, I'm going to put my hand up once you've hit your minute. I don't want to verbally interrupt you because it could throw you off track. But if you see my hand up, it means your minute is up.
We can't see you.
Right, yeah, I don't see
John
you on
Burke, your screen's blank.
It is? Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, on our whereby.
Yeah, your screen's blank.
Also, I want to apologize. I have like a cute girlfriend that distracts me. So.
I also had one quick question about whereby. If I adjust pictures on my end, does it adjust it for everyone?
Can y'all see me now?
No, still black.
No, still black.
What the hell? Like, I don't know why that now all y'all screens are black for me. Okay, well that's
I'm
weird.
telling you, whereby, man, it's just
Whereby, let me just restart it. That's never had that problem. Never had that problem. I apologize, chat.
Dude.
there you are.
Hey, we got you now.
Okay, but okay, can y'all see me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yep.
excellent. All right, thank you for. All right, so again, when you see me put my hand up like this, it just means that your minute has elapsed. Please go ahead and wrap it up. And then also, when we do the outro will be a last minute as well as far as your final thoughts on the topic. No last minute shots at fellow panelists. Stay on topic. Don't debate somebody else. I don't like doing that because it feels like it's kind of unfair where they can't defend themselves. So keep it on topic. All right, we start with Tiffany. Chris Tech, up to you, sir. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I've only just heard about this. Of course, it's sort of to do with American politics, so it seems pretty new for me. But having 10 sexual harassment allegations against you is definitely not right, and sort of for the calls for him to resign are correct. They should be there. To be a high-ranking politician like him, to have these against him, yeah, he should really need to resign. That's all from me.
Okay, 6 films. What do you got?
So I feel like he shouldn't resign just yet, but there should be definitely investigations involved into it. You know, with the allegations of like the nursing home stuff, that definitely needs to be taken, like, trying to think of it. That should definitely be taken into account and make sure that that gets investigated, because if that was poorly handled, that's incompetence and he should be charged for that. For the sexual allegations, he should be charged for that as well, if are proven to be true.
Okay, turn to Ash. What do you got?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, currently live in that kind of world anyway, right? So, I mean, cancel culture is at an all-time high. So, to me, he should resign. I mean, it's going to follow him regardless. I mean, he's never going to be able to be the same again. So, as soon as you get an allegation like that, you're usually already out the door. So, to me,
Fucking brain
there's
dead,
always double
dude.
standards anyway. But, I mean, as a man that lives in the world, as soon as you get accused of sexual assault or anything, you're already out the door. So just resign, and then, you could do it with dignity instead of having a big investigation that comes to find out that you got 40 people to 60 people that you actually did it.
This is making so many logical leaps.
Rob, over to you, sir.
Sure. So there's 2 different scandals going on here. The first one is the nursing home scandal, which is by far, far, far a bigger deal. He literally sentenced people to death, basically, and then he really covered up how many people had died. This is something that has been widely known about since at least last June. It was covered up because they didn't want it to affect the narrative that Donald Trump was leading to all these deaths. And so the media knew about this. CNN knew about it. They chose not to cover it now. It's kind of being downplayed based on the other scandal of the sexual harassment scandal. So I certainly think he needs to be investigated civilly, possibly criminally, for the nursing home scandal. As for the sexual harassment stuff, look, I'm going to be consistent on this. I defended Al Franken. I defended Bob Menendez. I defended all the Republicans that were accused. I defended Bill Clinton. I defended Joe Biden. Like, you're innocent until proven guilty. We should take these allegations seriously. They should be investigated. But I think that due process is important. I will say this, though, and this might make me look like a bad guy, but a lot of the allegations that I've heard about Cuomo just amount to like him just saying some like pseudo inappropriate stuff. I don't really think that's reason to resign or fire someone. It doesn't seem like a huge deal. Now, when he's alleged of inappropriately touching people, that's obviously a bigger deal.
Okay. We're going to take it to Destiny.
I think that he might have had a leg to stand on when it was just 2 women. Potentially, that could have been something that he might have been able to fight. But when you have this many allegations out, especially when you're a governor, like, it's time to step down. Like, I think it's pretty clear that something has obviously happened. And I mean, when you've got like Senate Majority Leader, Senator from New York, like calling for you to resign, like, it's pretty obvious you don't have the support of the party anymore. And I mean, that's gonna, even if he was completely, totally guilty and totally exonerated, like, he doesn't have the backing of the party. It's gonna inhibit his ability to do whatever job he needs to do. So yeah, it's probably time for Cuomo to step out.
Okay. Last and most certainly not least, American Nacho. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of echo a little bit of what Rob and Destiny said. Because I kind of feel a little bit of both. Like when there's that many people, it seems like there's some truth to it. We should definitely take the allegations seriously, and it should be investigated. But again, like to echo what Rob said, I think there's more pressing criminal charges to be investigated there with the nursing home deaths, etc. I actually had this article and another article. I think, if I'm not mistaken, AOC has also come out and called for him to resign too. So I gotta say, even though I don't necessarily always agree with most of what AOC says, I liked that she's come out and called certain people out when it's warranted. So I liked to see that. I like to see the parties kind of policing themselves, which is what I've kind of been preaching for. Is I want to see more of the Republicans calling out Republicans, calling out the rhinos, and the Democrats calling out the dinos, etc. I want to see a lot of these corrupt politicians out of the parties. So.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give my 2 cents, and then we're going to go into roundtable discussion. It'll be open free for all, so my minute starts now. Look, I don't like Andrew Cuomo whatsoever. I think he's kind of like a bully in a suit, but I mean, he's a typical New Yorker. He's got brass cojones. That's just that's their culture up there. But it still stands that you're innocent until proven guilty. I don't care if it's 50 women coming forward, all claiming the same thing. Unless there's evidence, the man deserves his investigation. I think let the investigation occur. If there's actually found evidence that actually shows he's guilty, then absolutely, then push forward. But again, I also feel like this comes at a very interesting time when you have the nursing home scandal, and then you have these sexual accusations geared against him. I feel like if suddenly like due process is no longer an option, if we weigh whether a man is innocent or guilty based upon the number of accusers that come forward, I feel like it's a very unfair advantage for anybody that's like a political opponent of yours. And we could literally gang up and do the same thing towards AOC. Like 7 guys that don't like AOC can come forward and say, hey, she touched me inappropriately at some point, but I don't have proof. But based upon what I say, you should believe me because there's 7 of us. I don't agree with that. I think that type of thinking is flawed. And what all we're seeing is, like we've seen in the past, the political weaponization of accusations such as rape, sexual harassment. We saw it under Kavanaugh during the hearings there. But as far as his resignation, I actually do have to agree with Destiny. You've lost all support of the party. You're not getting anything done. That is going to follow you. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. My minute is up, so it's open to debate for anybody else.
I don't know about that, though.
The investigation should come forward. If he's found guilty, face the charges. But that's the thing. I just, and feel free to take away. If you want to interject, go ahead.
Quickly, I wanted to say, yeah, I definitely think he should resign, but just not for the sexual allegation necessarily.
Right.
Mostly because of his incompetence.
Yeah, I mean, like we could focus on the sexual allegation first, if that's where people want to, spend their time.
It's open to anything. It's open to anything.
I just want to say that, like, I don't think he should be canceled or resign until investigations are conducted. Just because you're accused doesn't mean your life is over. Examples including Johnny Depp, for example, who's been brought back into some films after being previously barred from being in such films, such as the next Pirates of the Caribbean film. Like, he was canceled for a while due to the whole Mara conflict. That being said, I think if the investigation concludes that he is guilty of even one of these accusations, he should suffer the repercussions up to and including resignation.
Yeah,
if that's the case, I would go further than resignation, though.
We have to understand that there's a separate question of should he resign for the good of the Democratic Party, for the good of the state of New York, versus should he resign because these allegations have been proven true. To the latter question, I agree totally with you, Tiffany, that I don't think it. Look, this might sound stupid to say, but he knows if he's guilty or not. If he's not guilty, he shouldn't resign. Right? If he's guilty, then probably resign because it's going to come out. So if he operating under the assumption he's not guilty of these things, then no, if I was him, I wouldn't resign. Now, the Democratic Party may want him to resign because they might think this is a distraction or a stain or something like that. So it might be for the good of the state or for the good of the party for him to resign. But, at the end of the day, he knows if he's guilty or not. And if he's innocent, he shouldn't resign.
I think there's 2 separate questions that are really important.
Cheyenne, welcome.
Because we keep talking about like legally charged or whatever.
How you doing?
Saying that he needs to step down and go to prison immediately. Obviously, if people, and I don't even know if the quote unquote crimes that he's committed, any of the allegations, rise to the level.
What are you up to?
Like this is something you're going to go to jail for. But I mean, I think that's a fundamentally separate question on whether or not your ability to lead has been too heavily compromised and you need to step down, which I think almost everyone here seems to agree that that's the case, that he probably should step down just because his ability to lead is compromised.
Watching lives? Nice.
This is the problem.
All right. What'd you do today?
Resign himself, and that's kind
Basically
of
procrastinating. What are you procrastinating from?
It's a very.
Oh, you went to class?
Sides on this one, but as far as like right now, for those that don't know, he's refusing to resign. He's got 70.
Are you procrastinating on homework?
He's refusing to resign.
Oh shit.
And to me, it's
Okay.
Like,
What's the paper on?
It also feels like it's an admission of guilt. But, you know, at the same token, I mean, you do bring up a good point as far as, like, he loses all support of the Democratic Party. What's he going to do here on out? Like, he's lost support of Chuck Schumer.
Oh shit, how long does this paper need to be?
That's a sad situation. You know,
Tell me the parameters for this paper.
I think, you know, honestly, I think
How many pages? Are we talking double spaced? What's the font? What's the font size?
It's the investigation. It's honestly kind of sad to see freaking Schumer and the rest of them call for his resignation right off the bat. It's like, look, you could potentially be crucifying an innocent man. And I think that.
It has to be about AI. Gotcha.
I think the
interesting.
They're calling for his resignation. They're wrong. I think they're wrong.
Okay, but
I mean, are you leaning in any direction with it?
Like,
Oh, 2 pages? That's nothing.
That's going to be the standard.
Piece of cake.
He's had over 5 women accuse him. Joe Biden had 6 women accuse him.
No, I used to fucking hate papers when I was in school, like in high school. I could do 2 papers or 2 pages like it's nothing now.
They kind of control who they get outraged by.
Yeah.
Outraged. The truth is, Cuomo was a useful
I could just
tool.
bullshit 2 pages.
They thought he was a bully. He was a useful tool when Trump was in office. He was sort of a foil to Trump, this kind of New Yorker tough guy.
Nice, yeah. So you got an easier one. That's good.
And they're trying to cover up from this nursing home scandal because they know that other Democratic governors are going to be implicated in it. And so this is a convenient tool to say, oh, well, you should step down because all of these women came forward. But to me, that's not the
So what grade are you in?
It's the nursing home scandal. And so I was just wondering for Destiny and anyone else that
Okay, are you in college?
That he resigned. Do you
Well, it's
think
about the philosophy of AI. Oh shit, now we're getting philosophical. Oh shit, okay.
Like
Where do you go to college, by the way?
Retirement home stuff.
Nursing home, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not too personal.
That you will never be able to prove. That's just a nice story that is convenient to try to solve these new allegations. Secondly, my understanding is that all of the prior allegations against Biden just had him like saying things that were inappropriate.
So what are you majoring in?
Massages or whatever, which were bad. And I believe that Biden came out and he unequivocally apologized for him. However, all of the women that made those
I'm not gonna be that type of dude, that type of person
that it was just
coming and looking for people.
Engaged with those people, which again,
It's cool that you're majoring in philosophy, though. That's really important, in my opinion.
It's incredibly relevant right now. Also, I don't believe. I could be wrong, but I don't believe any of those accusations were recent. Also, I believe a lot of those were pretty dated, whereas the Cuomo stuff is a lot more recent.
What do you think is the most fun aspect of philosophy?
Let me check this real quick.
Yeah, go.
The actual accusations are from previous experience.
I mean, that's pretty much all I do too.
These are all.
But that's because I'm a lawyer, so
experiences that are just now coming forward. Just to put that.
I'm basically writing all the time.
Like the last 5 years, weren't they? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, that's what I meant. As far as it didn't happen like yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my understanding it was for Biden when he was a senator 20, 30, 40 years ago, where a lot of these statements were coming out. Is the difference between these?
But again, we forget that Biden was actually accused of forcibly penetrating someone with his finger. Now, regardless if you think that's true or not, that was an accusation that was levied at him. That's definitely serious. And also, let's look at a lot of these accusations of Cuomo. A lot of them are very similar to what you hear about Biden. He inappropriately pulled someone close to him. That was one of the accusations of Cuomo. He grabbed someone by the cheeks and kissed their forehead. That's the type of stuff Biden.
Yeah, I try to do that all the time, in my everyday conversation, all the time. I mean, it does get boring sometimes, sure, but I think it's so important to really consider multiple perspectives, and people are so bad at that nowadays.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that said, if Cuomo, if he's saying that he hasn't done this, that means he's either A, didn't actually do it and he's being sincere, or B, lying. And if it turns out that he's not lying, he should be fine with allowing these investigations to go through. And if he is lying, he deserves whatever befalls him, even whatever's discovered.
Oh yeah.
Like I said earlier.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Resigning, or even further than that. So that's my take. I don't
Tiffany,
know. It
real
pretty
quick,
cut and dry to me.
there is an investigation that's actually been launched. Just to keep
yeah,
you
but
informed of
no,
the
I
situation.
meant like the
Yeah.
results of the investigation.
Oh yeah, it literally just started.
So the question that I'm watching a roundtable discussion that goes into basically a bunch of political issues. Hey, welcome back, Ashley.
It's like he's fine with the investigations.
And right now the topic of discussion is whether,
Or he's lying.
pragmatically speaking, or as a matter of optics, Governor Andrew Cuomo from New York should resign because of the nursing home scandal and the slew of sexual abuse allegations that are coming out.
Like the sexual harassment stuff. The fact that this has come to light, and not to say that I don't think this stuff should be investigated or that it's good that these women are stepping forward and having the confidence to speak about what they think happened to them or what did happen to them, etc. But I just think
You heard that?
this takes away from.
Oh, you saw her. Okay, yeah. Yeah, she's right there. Yeah, we have two, and I just heard the other one meow. So I thought you were talking about the one that meowed, and turns out you saw the other one. No, one's a boy and one's a girl. Also, Alexandria, welcome. There we go. I hate that it doesn't show the whole name all the time.
I'm all for it.
Stupid.
But I think
Hello,
you should
how are you?
for those reasons and not for the sexual.
You must have some German in you, huh?
What are you, Rob?
Right, and I was just gonna say, Tiffany, it was not.
You saw the whole thing? What do you mean?
Biden shouldn't resign. Cuomo shouldn't resign. Trump shouldn't have resigned. I'm saying the people that are saying if you have multiple women accuse you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a weird app thing. Like I don't know why. Sometimes it just doesn't show up properly. I'm glad you're doing good. What you been up to today?
Is I absolutely agree with American Nacho there. To me, like Destiny says, oh, it's just a narrative that I can't prove that this is covering up from the nursing home scandal. Again, we've known about the nursing home scandal for a long, long time, and no one suggested in the Democratic Party suggested he resign. They only suggested he resign.
Call you Alex. Will do.
Or sexual harassment allegations. So this
So
shows
who's us?
that they are just trying to cover face. If they really thought,
Oh, like when I said we have two cats, you mean?
isn't a bigger deal?
That would be my girlfriend and me.
Is there anyone here?
No, I don't think it's anywhere near the big deal that it's being made out to be. Also, on the Biden was accused of the
All right, do your thing, Ashley. Thanks for trying to pull people out of mine.
Wholly discredited by literally any media worth their salt. A ton of people looked into that. I think that type of accusation would be immediately disqualifying, but that was a very unique accusation. None of the other Biden accusations were like that.
No, she's not on Twitch. And by the way, I'm on here and Twitch and Facebook and YouTube.
Accusation. I don't think that
She doesn't do the streaming thing.
Also, I'm pretty sure that on at least one of the new Cuomo accusations.
All right, sounds good, Kitsune. Good to see you, man.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Glad to be back. It's been a long week.
He groped her.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get.
Yeah, I'm the public personality. I was talking to someone else in one of my other chats. Keep in mind, I have this chat
so I don't think that
and Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube chat at the same time. So if I'm talking to someone who's not showing up in this chat, don't worry about it. And you're also more than invited to come check out my actual stream if you want to see much better picture quality and see the stream, like see the roundtable discussion I'm watching and all that.
A ton of women have come out to
It's up to you.
and all of those accusations were like vetted and were false. Has this ever happened before?
Oh yeah, I'm on all of them at the same time. And my Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube stream has a kitty cam, so I can't do that on my phone.
That was only,
No, there were like 8 people that accused Kavanaugh. Many of them have since
Right?
left. But you had
Speaking of which, I need to turn that on because she's here.
But that's also confirmed by that.
She's laying in her bed right now.
Instead if one does it, then therefore it should be the same across the board. For
There you go, huh?
Hold on. I never made a strong statement whether Kavanaugh should have been canceled. I'm just saying, like, when you get like a pattern of a ton of people coming out like this, right? And we're talking.
See? You gotta check out my stream, my other stream.
Investigation, like these types of things can go on for years, depending on how extensive this investigation is. Like, is it really like, especially in these times, do you want the governor of New York locked up in a battle with sexual allegations? Like, this is like
fair enough then.
Hillary Clinton's emails.
Lazy ass.
I just don't think that this
But
is
what if
something.
he's an effective governor though?
Well, but this is the problem.
I get where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying as far as like this could detract from his ability to leave, but at the same time, and I know people don't like Trump. It's hit or miss, but Trump
He's
is the same
sleep.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that these court
See?
battles
See?
are going to be something that's
That's why you need my other stream too.
detract his ability to actually lead effectively.
think-
I mean, that's just my.
But I think that Republicans play.
You can see so much more of what's going on in my life.
Usually have to hold themselves.
Oh, well, never mind. Fuck it. Away she goes.
Or other types of things. I think they can kind of get away with that. But like for Democrats, if I phrase this,
Hey, but I do, random things on my other streams, like play games, watch shit like this, and do political discussions. I'll do philosophical discussions. I'll play music every once in a while.
So I mean, like if Democrats are going to play that game, and then you've got Cuomo, who
I like variety.
He's kind of seen as a bully. Like, is he effective as a governor? I don't know. A lot of people go back and forth on the New York stuff. I don't think he has the popularity that he needs. He might have been able to get away with the 2 accusations, but not 10. No way. Not with that and the housing reporting thing and everything. There's just no way.
Hold on real quick. People had their... Actually, it's still open table. Feel free to interject whenever y'all want.
So what do you usually do for fun,
So go ahead.
Cheyenne?
So then I will, because I'm a loud bitch. Anyways, first off, Rob, you're pivoting to the nursing home topic. That's not what the topic is about. I know what you.
No, it was about
you're
hope.
trying to do. No, I know. What hey, I'm talking. I know what you're trying to do, but that's you're pivoting. That's no matter how you slice it. Additionally, secondly, I do actually agree with you on some stuff, Rob. In one stance, at least, is that anyone accused shouldn't be punished until proven guilty. This includes outraged individuals basing their opinion.
What do you do for
on
work?
said person due to feelings, as opposed to the facts and data, including people like Cuomo.
I'm
Johnny
talking
Depp,
here.
etc. Whoever, it doesn't matter. We need to have like proof of this outrage. Otherwise, people are just like blowing hot air.
Hey, John, was nursing homes part of the topic?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh,
COVID fucked that up, man.
Then, right?
That's cool. I mean, are you enjoying it at all? Or is it just like a super holdover-y type of job to make money until you get done with college?
Then I retract that.
I mean, I like, obviously, it is in at least some respect. I'm just curious if you enjoy it at all. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I sort of just word vomited.
Nursing home was also included.
So what do you, this brings up a good question. What do you want to do
the opening statement.
after you graduate? Like, what do you want to do with your philosophy education?
Harassment, assault, scandal. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. I should frame that
Okay,
real quick.
I was just,
but
just
I
to
do.
be clear on that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have
We can
two-
talk about it though. Like, feel free
Okay.
to have this discussion. Go ahead, American Nacho.
Is that like, do you want to be a nurse, or do you want to be a
Yep. Go
surgeon, or like a family doctor, or what do you have in mind?
And Destiny
Anesthesiologist. Okay.
Because you
So I'm curious, and this is not a loaded question at all, and I'll explain why after you've answered. How come you went to, or how come you decided to first study philosophy
Wide poor decisions.
and then go to med school?
Has caught so much fire because one of the, a lot of people will argue back and forth over whether or not Sweden took a good approach to things, but honestly, one of their huge mistakes was also old people in nursing homes, and the rate of infection and how quickly it spreads and everything. I think that there was a lot of mismanagement in the beginning, but I'm not going to rise to the level that. And say,
That'll
like,
work.
I think that they were murdering old people for
I like the fact that you can, maintain your attention span long enough to type an answer, because that is fucking rare on this app, so I'll take that.
They took their time reporting it to the federal government because they were worried about political blowback. Like, I think there's room for criticism there for sure, but I'm not going to go to the level of like, I think they intentionally threw those older people in the old homes to kill people to get Trump out of office. I don't buy that at all.
That's not, and I understand
Cuomo-
that. That's
Cuomo
based
and
on,
Whitmer.
I don't look. So
Six
I don't.
Flags,
I'm
go
not
ahead, hold
trying
on.
to claim that either. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Six Flags, go ahead. You haven't really talked much. Go ahead.
So Cuomo and Whitmer personally made it into their executive orders to send nursing home patients back after they had COVID.
Sure,
So,
but
yeah,
my
there's
understanding
still
is the reason why they did that was
compromise.
because they didn't know if it was going to be infectious after like they had been treated for a little bit. They didn't know, and they didn't know if they would have the resources
that
in the
was point,
hospitals.
but at the same time, though, they didn't separate the people inside of the nursing home either.
Because I don't know if nursing homes necessarily have those facilities to do that in a COVID safe way. I think in the beginning nobody knew how dangerous or how infectious the disease was. So I think my understanding was that the rationale at the time was we can't just send them home, and we don't want to risk overloading our hospitals with old people. So maybe we can put them into nursing homes where they can deal with some.
Wait, is that the whole answer?
Listen, I gotta disagree with you on that one. To say that at the beginning we did not know how infectious this thing was, I think is a sincere understatement. We did. There was 100%. Like America went into just straight lockdown.
I didn't do that. Oh, okay, here we go.
Massive, like,
My teacher had a slideshow of what you could do with a philosophy major, and he pointed out that most people who do good in med school probably studied philosophy.
Well, I mean, when we look at what Trump closed the border, essentially said no travel from China, like what, January 31st, I think it was, roughly ish. I think to say, and when did this Cuomo incident happen with the nursing home?
Here's the thing. If you want to say that, if you want to say that,
I've got something to say on
if you want to say that Cuomo murdered people because even though we quote unquote knew how infectious it was.
No, hold on. I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I'm
or
not, no,
acted in a
look,
way
this
that
is where Rob and I disagree.
Okay,
I
sure.
don't think it was based on political points. I think this was just a stupid move at the leadership level. I don't think that was leveraged against the opposing side, saying, "Hey, I'm going to show them."
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying that, like, because people seem to want to give Trump credit for banning travel from China, but we still allowed travel from the rest of the world. And even at some of these earlier points, we were realizing, like, well, hold on, the coronavirus is probably in more places than literally just China. And we were even still allowing people to fly back from China and from Wuhan if they were U.S. citizens with no additional quarantine measures or anything. So, like, I just don't give Trump any credit for the travel ban. If he did a travel ban on China and then started enacting like social distance and masking guidelines, and then also was restricting travel and quarantining people, I would be like more amenable to that. But I think that the China ban was just political points, regardless of how I feel about Trump.
Okay, tended to be philosophy majors, some more than biochem or physics.
Talking about the murder thing real quick, right?
Oh, more than biochem or physics, so I decided to minor in it, and I took more classes and ended up changing my major. Okay, well, that's cool.
So if we
That makes sense.
Epidemiologists know that elderly people would be
The reason I ask is because I actually, I mean, like when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer, but I went to college for business instead of like pre-law, and so I had that question fairly frequently, like, oh, why didn't you take pre-law if you knew you wanted to be a lawyer? Number one, it's because I was interested in business as well, and number two, I think it's good to diversify your education to an extent, and three, if I went to pre-law, and this is supposing a whole bunch of things at the time I made the decision, if I studied pre-law and then went to law school and then let's say became a lawyer and then hated my job, now what? So I decided to diversify my education a bit and learn a couple of things that are very useful in the real world as opposed to just one more specific and narrow area.
People's livelihoods. They were crushing people's ability to work, and generally the younger age population that was more healthy.
So there.
Couldn't go to church, couldn't go to work, and those type of things.
Oh,
well, we had
so
to do
good.
that, right? Because it was potentially so serious. But at the same time, we could put COVID patients in nursing homes because we just didn't know.
What do you call this stuff? Dag nabbit.
It shows us that they use the double standard.
Beef stew, there we go. Or wait, no. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's like mashed potatoes and noodles and slow cooked beef in gravy and stuff. It's real good.
So this was happening at a time. I just want to say this was happening at a time where we did know that there was a target.
Really good.
A population at the time. We did know.
So I'm curious.
It was targeting elderly. And
if you're going to med school to be an anesthesiologist, do you have to do 7 years? Like, is the 7 year med school thing just like standard?
So they forced.
Like, how does that part work?
Allow new patient or. They banned them from denying.
Basically, what Cuomo did is he took patients that were recovering from COVID, moved them into nursing homes, still unsure. What they claim is they were unsure if they were still infectious, which they were.
Right.
And that's where we got the outcome where we're at now. So
right, and then they also banned testing on patients who had. So let's say you were in the nursing home, you get sick, you go to the hospital, and you're coming back. you're supposed to get tested. They banned testing those patients coming back into the nursing homes too at some point. So, and then he removed like all of these things as well. So it's like, I'm kind of in the same boat a little bit with Rob. Like, it's either you're a villain and you're doing this all for some political gain and you're gonna murder people, which I hope not. But that's the worst case scenario, and the best case scenario is you're in.
Oh man, so you got quite the long haul, huh?
Kind of my position.
But you're gonna, I mean, it's another one of those things where it's
Okay, so the problem is that we keep
it's kind of similar to me. You're gonna end up being one of the, I mean, all things going properly, you're gonna be one of the top earners in the country. So that's a good thing.
But we have no idea that
You know, so long as circumstances don't prevent that from being the case, of course.
people. So the idea was,
Which in today's economy and all that, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
when I said more at-risk people, I don't mean people that are more at risk. I mean more people that are at risk. I'm sorry. Does
like,
that make sense?
Numerically.
Yes, numerically,
Yeah.
like a greater number of people. The idea was that because another the quote unquote worst case scenario that they saw on the other end was we fill hospitals up with old people that are
any questions from me?
COVID-19, and now we have new people that need to go to the hospital and they can't because the rooms are full, and now we have empty long-term care facilities that could have been treating some of these older people that had the coronavirus. That was the idea at the time. Now, if you want to say that that's not true and you want to say there's like a murder plot or whatever dumb shit, you can say that. It's fine. I mean, you're literally just wait, look at
I mean, that's good. At least you have another plan or a backup plan.
across the world that had the same problem with old people.
And yeah, I would say if you know that being an anesthesiologist is what you do, what you want to do, go for it.
There is no leaks of it. There is no press statements about it. There is no WikiLeaks about it. You are literally completely inventing that story. If you want to prove it, you can. Just understand that you say it with absolutely no conviction and nothing behind you to support it, other than your own crazy conspiracy ideas. That's it.
Yeah, but you can't use that.
Alright, so real quick, let's go real quick. We'll go turn to Ash, then back to Tiffany, then over to Rob. Turn to Ash. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can't use that because that's what they use.
Now we're getting warmed up in the convo. I like it.
They were dying because he wasn't locking down this and locking down
We
that.
have statements
So
of Trump
by
saying
basing
that,
it-
though. It's not the same thing. What do you mean? We have statements of Trump saying that they knew early on that the coronavirus was going to be infectious and they didn't do anything about
And
it.
he
Okay, well, if they knew early on, why didn't Cuomo do something about it?
Because Cuomo doesn't have the same access to information that the CDC does. He doesn't have the same ability
wait,
to
but-
inhibit transmission.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
That's what I'm trying to point out. Because I'm trying to be.
Hold on, real quick. We got to go
trying
in
to be
order. We're
my
going to go to
center
Tiffany.
self.
Hold on, we're going to go Tiffany, Rob, then American. Tiffany, go ahead.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
wanted
that's
to
fair.
say that,
I wanted to go to law school basically because,
that,
well, first off, I'm not even entirely sure exactly when I made the decision. I just sort of
precautions including
decided at some point when I was in high school that that was what I wanted to do.
So
One of the things that had something to do with that decision was a debate class I took because I really, really enjoyed the more formal and civil format of having an argument, basically, because that's what that was.
Trump's administration, like they were trying to
Now that's in a very controlled environment that obviously does not translate one-to-one to the real world. But that was sort of one of the things that I enjoyed. Number two is I'm a puzzle solver by nature. I'm an analytic by nature. I ask questions all the time. So I just enjoyed
know about
trying to figure out
public. So yes, you could say
how to best advocate for someone and solve problems to the best of my ability.
we knew that it was affecting.
Another thing is I think it's really important that there be people,
It was
I mean good people, not just capitalist dickhead attorneys. I mean people that understand and appreciate the power that we hold when it comes to representing clients and other individuals and entities that can't advocate for themselves as well as I could advocate for them, for example.
Like, oh, I know this was it. You want to talk about conspiracies? Here we go.
So I think it was sort of just like this nebulous, my life led me in that direction.
That's not what
I never
happened.
said
Even
aid. I
Fauci-
said aid.
Okay, even Fauci admitted who has no love for Trump, as you could tell, even he admitted that Trump's statements publicly were in line with what the experts were telling him. Remember, at the end of January, Fauci was telling the world on MSNBC and other places, oh, this is no big deal. It's no worse than the regular flu. You should go on with your life. We had Democrats
Also,
that had access to the same
go
CDC
whenever
and
you
other
need
places,
to in order to
and
finish your
those who would say,
paper.
Go to Chinatown. Go hug an Asian American. It's totally cool. People were downplaying this until it was evident. Almost
This is not downplaying. Oh my God.
That is downplaying. That
It's the idea that
Yes and no.
Asian Americans don't just exhibit.
There are plenty of things I like about it, and there are some things I don't really like about it, but I do think that, Lil Cutie, welcome. I do think that
Interrupt. I'm gonna finish. Go.
I enjoy law way more than just business, you know, like management or marketing or things like that.
Calm down. Destiny, over to you. Rob can respond.
I cut Rob off. You can finish. Go.
Okay, Rob, over to you, then Destiny can respond.
Okay, so anyways, that's the point. It's not, Trump was saying, like, you don't want a leader going out there purposely panicking people. You can make, there's plenty of criticisms to make at Trump. The fact that he and Republicans and Democrats in the Congress still to this day haven't provided adequate testing is absurd. There's all sorts of things that you could point the finger, but the idea that Trump wasn't out there saying this is no danger whatsoever. He was saying what was commiserate with what the experts were telling him, not to panic and freak people out. We're telling him not to panic and freak people out. This is different. You could make.
It's a bunch of bullshit, by the way. I should probably do this paper since you work tomorrow. Yeah, you probably should. Good Lord, use the rest of your mental capacity to finish that short paper and then go to sleep or something. I'm enjoying the conversation so far, I'll tell you that, but I also don't want to get in the way of things that are going to lead to your own personal success in the future.
By sending these people to nursing homes. And we could talk about, like, well, they did this because they thought that other people would need beds. The only people we knew early on that the people most at risk to die from this was elderly people. In fact, we told people they had to get locked down because if you disagree with the lockdown, do you want grandma to die? Yet at the same time, we're supposed to believe that the doctors and the epidemiologists in places like Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Michigan said, well, we care so little about old people, we have to send them back to inferior nursing home facilities so that we can open beds for non-old people that are less at risk. So
all right,
healthy
Rob, I've got
I just real quick, so for people.
Hold on, Rob. Go ahead, Destiny.
Yeah,
Rob,
so
Sounds good. I've appreciated talking to you. Thank you for coming in.
You can tell somebody's a bad faith.
Thank you for engaging a little bit. I hope to see you again, and also thank you for the favorite.
So rather than keeping the conversation focused on, you know, like, did Trump know about anything? Instead, it's like throwing in all these random fucking irrelevant points that like have nothing to do with the initial argument, so that you can keep shoehorning conspiracy after conspiracy.
Hold on, let Destiny talk.
Let me tell you, somebody that's charged 50 million times with child porn and killing kids in school places and blah blah blah. Right? So the same Trump that we know, like, personally was murdering people in Vietnam and napalm villages. And I'm just going to bring up all these random things that you're not going to get a chance to respond to, and not going to respond to the meat of your argument. So now you already look bad because I brought up 50 million unsubstantiated things related to the guy that you're trying to defend, because that's apparently how you do arguments. Right? So very specifically, can I please finish? I'll let you finish. So very specifically, okay, to compare Trump to Cuomo, Trump literally admitted to Woodward in an interview that he knew the coronavirus was very dangerous.
Yep.
He knew that it was dangerous stuff, and he said that, and he was on record saying that. He said that he just didn't want people to publicly panic. Either shows that you were being disingenuous or you were unimaginably stupid, far dumber than doctors that were trying to conserve hospital space by using long-term care facilities to treat older people that were supposedly recovering from the coronavirus, okay? If you want to say that there's a leader who's trying not to panic people, what that looks like is you being publicly very straightforward with, like, we don't need to panic, blah, 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 but privately taking big steps in order to ensure that we're not going to have over 500,000 people dead to the coronavirus, which is where we're sitting at, which is like 10 times worse than almost anybody had initially. Even the biggest Trump haters were like, okay, maybe we'll get through with 100,000, maybe 150, blah, blah, blah. We're over 500,000 fucking dead, okay? So Trump did not take the necessary steps to protect us. He did ban travel from China. He waited almost a month to ban travel from Europe. He didn't enact any social distancing, any mask measures. Our initial ability to throw together competent tests were severely inhibited by the lack of political will to do so. And don't tell me that we couldn't get those tests out when every other fucking country in the world seemed to figure it out. And when we've been a leader in the vaccination thing, which is something we did take seriously. Okay,
I'm here for this shit.
Trump wasn't saying that there was no danger whatsoever and he was following the CDC guidelines is patently false, because every fucking time Trump steps in front of a fucking camera, he was saying, oh, there's only 12 cases. Oh, there's only 20 cases. Oh, there's only 40 cases. Blah, 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 blah. This is not the sound of a man that's trying to keep people from panicking. This is the sound of a man that's trying to throw American lives under the bus so they can win a fucking re-election.
Yup. Period.
Hold on. We'll come back to you, Rob. Tiffany had her hand up. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Actually, Destiny, the reason you can tell someone is a bad faith actor is when their name is Rob. Joking. It is.
Let's keep it civil, panelists. Let's keep it civil. Hey, let's keep it civil, please.
Hey,
it was
let's
just
have
a joke,
another
Rob.
drink,
Don't
guys.
take it
Everybody
seriously.
drink.
I'm
Everybody
just,
drink.
like,
Everybody
messing
drink.
with
I
you.
didn't take it
I know.
seriously. I took it.
Well, I mean, the environment right now. Let's calm down a little bit. Let's take a deep breath, and don't forget the idea of this is to
Destiny
share.
hit that-
And don't forget the idea of this is to
Destiny
share
hit that red
perspective.
button. We love you, brother.
Rob, Trump saying I don't want.
Why is it doing this?
people resulted in more people's
Oh.
deaths. So his not wanting to panic people resulted
That's
in more
why.
people dying. That's not really a good excuse. Prove it? Yeah. There's like articles, but if you knew how to use Google,
There's
you'd
no
figure that out.
science about
Anyways,
that.
hey, I'm talking. Shut your fucking dick sucker, okay? Over 500,000, by the way, died because of him. Also, there is data that lockdowns do work, and we know this because other countries implemented lockdowns and are thriving compared to the United States. And their COVID-19 cases are either non-existent or almost gone. They're super low. So whatever you're talking about is not just brain dead, but wrong.
It's not just wrong, but brain dead.
Just
What I would have said.
I just want to ask, if you say that lockdowns are proven to stop the spread of that, then why the hell are we still here a year later?
Because we didn't lock down long enough, and yeah, this is easily researchable.
We locked down for the 15 days that they asked. Everyone,
yeah, 15
at least all the
days,
states
no.
I know,
Like,
they locked down
no,
for 15
no.
days,
15
which was the
days.
quarantine period of the entire thing.
Recommended amount of time to lock down is months, not days.
UK's been
So,
around.
so first, if I may,
Okay, hands up, please, hands up. We'll go into hands up mode. We're gonna go to Rob, Tiffany, and then over to turn to Ash. Rob, go ahead, then to Tiffany, then turn to Ash.
first, the fact that
You're getting we're also going. Oh, lady, I have to implement this because the conversations are going a little bit longer. 1 minute responses. I will be timing 1 minute responses so we can go around the clock and everybody can talk. Go ahead, Rob. Over to you.
The fact that saying that I switched to other things and that proves I'm bullshitting is funny in a topic about Cuomo. That whataboutism has to come in and we talk about Trump. Second, the idea that lockdowns work is bullshit. Every country is different. If lockdowns works, why it's UK that lockdown worse off than the United States? Why is Florida that didn't lock down not worse off than New York and California? Third, I'd like to read this article from Dr.
No, lockdowns objectively work by their nature.
Anthony Fauci, the nation's top infectious disease expert, defended President Donald Trump on Wednesday after audio recordings.
The problem is America's a bunch of fucking dumb idiots.
Fox News' John Roberts, Fauci denied he ever heard the president distort the threat of the coronavirus and maintained that Trump's presentations to the public were largely in line with discussions he had with the medical experts. Again, it's not Trump's fault that he was listening to the medical experts that were downplaying it themselves. And lastly, the idea that I just think it's funny in a topic about Cuomo that we're bringing Trump up, they said we can't blame Cuomo for these deaths, even after he's intentionally hiding the data that proves his decision was terrible. And yet we've just heard two panelists say 500,000 deaths were.
That's
all
not
Trump's
the
fault.
same
That shows
thing.
you where
Yeah,
these
okay.
people are at.
It's been a minute. Over to Tiffany. Sorry, you've got a minute. Go ahead.
Just a minute. Oh fuck. Okay.
Just a minute.
Anyways, Rob, maybe you didn't know this, but
Crystal,
California
welcome.
and Florida are parts of the United States. And
How you
if all
doing?
states don't adhere to a severe lockdown, then COVID-19 will still persist and go through. Everyone has to buckle the
Gotcha,
fuck
Crystal.
down. You're laughing, even though there's like data on this for other countries, but I guess you can laugh at your own stupidity. Anyways, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Like, there's data on this. Do you want me to like link it?
If that's the
Because-
case, then
If
why
you want to
wouldn't
link
say
it in the
France
chat,
and
then yes,
Spain?
please feel free. yeah.
No. Like, Rob, you just said 2 states in the United States, but there
Right.
are other states near it
I know.
that, by the way, are severely red with limited.
I know.
I don't want to say limited. I want to say like rules to COVID-19, and because of that, it's prevalent.
Yeah, I know.
People don't always like lock down at the same time.
All
And
right, it's been a minute.
it
Tiffany, if you
spreads.
can link the information, we can do it in the chat and then also the Twitch chat so I can share with them, please, if you have that. Let's keep it civil. Keep it civil. Yeah. Over to turn to Ash, then we'll go to Christek, and then we're going to go closing discussions because we got to move on to the next topic. It's already been an hour. Turn to Ash, sir. Go ahead. You got a minute.
Physically use a lockdown as an example of something. The UK's been in lockdown almost the entire time, and nothing's happening. They're still in later phases. Italy's another example. Just because America didn't lock down as soon as everyone else, you guys forget that it's one of the highly traveled countries in the world. You can't just lock it down and leave everybody outside of it immediately, especially when he's fighting for it, and then the Democrats are fighting against him the entire time.
Okay, Christek, over to you, sir.
I was going to go back to on the lockdowns. Yes, we are currently in our third lockdown in the UK, and I can definitely say these don't work. These shun the infection rates and the deaths temporarily. We can go back to the first one. We went out of the first one, summer hit, and the second wave came in about 2-3 months after. They don't work. They will never work. So there has to be a different solution.
Literally not true.
It's like it's
Okay.
so crazy that others.
Appreciate that. So, hold on. We're gonna go into we're gonna go around the horn into final closeout discussion. So panelists, keep in mind, no shots at fellow panelists.
That was it?
Please.
Was that? No way that was it.
But I love that. That's great. That's great discussion points. So
And please tell me this wasn't just an hour.
take a 5-minute break for you to refill on your drinks, use a restroom so I can
Okay.
keep company because I love capitalism. God bless it. We're going to start with Christek, sir. Your closing discussion or your closing points on the topic we just previously discussed. You got 1 minute. Go ahead.
So when it comes to Tunmo, I think that's how I pronounce his name, right?
Yeah, close enough.
A investigation should definitely be looked into, especially with the nursing homes. They did the exact same over here. They hid the deaths from nursing homes, and there was too much pressure, and they had to release them 3 months after. So that definitely needs to be properly looked into. At the present moment, he doesn't need to resign, but if the situation worsens, then the proceedings should definitely take place.
Okay, Tiffany, down to you.
Wait, what is this closing? I was like reading stuff, like research.
I'll come
Is
back
this
to you.
closing
Yeah, we'll
statements?
go ahead. No, keep doing your thing, and then I'll come back to you so you got more time. Ash, go ahead and go to you.
Please.
Yep.
When it comes to Como, you've got to use it as he made the decision to send those people back. He consciously made the decision to be like, hey, we need more beds for people that have a high survivability rate, a very high survivability rate. What I think the rate in 18 to 35-year-olds was what, 3%, maybe a 3% death rate compared to 18 to 24, I believe, in older people. So, I mean, he consciously made that decision. As for the sexual allegation decision, I mean, like I said, if you resign, like you said, it is an admission of guilt. But if they go into it and find that he did it, then it's just going to be worse off. I mean, there's got to be a reason that the Democrats are just backing off from him in general.
Okay. Rob, over to you, sir.
Yeah, the sexual assault allegations. If he did it, he should resign. If he didn't, he should stick to his guns and fight. Your reputation and who you are is tantamount to who you are, so he shouldn't tacitly admit guilt by resigning if he didn't do it. If he did, he's a scumbag and he should resign, and I have no love for him anyways. As far as the nursing home stuff, look, I know the COVID discussion, we could talk about that topic for 3 hours. The truth is, just like Turn to Ash said, Cuomo did this. He covered it up. Twitch streamers, YouTube streamers, mass media people, politicians, they knew that this was a disastrous policy. They knew that the numbers were being covered up, but they ignored it because it was more important to win an election. So those people that died, that's a literal example of a positive action, and not an inaction, but an action that was forced people to take that resulted in tens of thousands of deaths. But so many people want to ignore it and talk about whataboutism and the past guy and try to blame him for things. So it's just absurd. He should be investigated for this criminally. People that lost loved ones should investigate him civilly and try to return some sort of money for the grief that they've accepted. And it's just one of the most disgusting things. I hope Whitmer and I hope Wolf and I hope Murphy and I hope Newsom are next, who also issued this same disastrous policy that led to tens of thousands of deaths.
Destiny, down to you, sir.
Cuomo should step out. His ability to lead has been severely inhibited. 100%. Lockdowns work. That's all I got.
All right, American Nacho, to you, sir.
So we got pretty far off topic. If we want to talk about, masking and lockdowns and stuff, I'd be more than happy to do that another time. Or I don't know if that's maybe it's going to sneak up on us. It's part of the later discussion. Who knows? But I think Cuomo should step down also. I just think for different reasons, obviously. But I think both of these allegations should be investigated. And I would also like to see Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, New Jersey, California also investigate. I think those are the governors that Rob was naming, but yeah, I would like to see that stuff investigated. And that's
okay, Six Films Gaming, to you, sir.
So for the sexual assault allegations, I'd say wait for an investigation. If he's guilty, yes, resign. He's lost the respect of the party anyway. Likelihood he's not going to get reelected. When it comes to nursing home deaths, legally speaking, because of the policies that he put into place, I feel like that he's at negligence on that point. We all knew for a fact from the start that it was going to kill them. It's not that hard to realize that. It's either going to get them really sick or it's going to kill them. So that's my.
Tiffany, back over to you.
All right, now that I got to do some research, when I was looking up studies on whether lockdowns were effective or not, most of the links that I saw that said lockdowns were not effective were no name, never heard of them sites that weren't based on. Yeah, Rob Nort. Yeah, I mean,
Keep it civil, Rob. Keep it civil.
Yeah,
keep it civil.
Those are the sites you look at, Rob. I get it, like the conspiracy theory shit. Anyways, the only one I could find was from The Hill. That's like actually somewhat reputable, and I posted it in chat, not just in Whereby, but also in your
I'll go ahead and share the link. Yeah.
Twitch link. Yep.
I'll share the link right now
as
as
well.
well.
Early lockdowns prevented additional COVID-19 deaths. And again, that's early, so who knows if later lockdowns didn't matter due to how severe the spread got. But this still, substantiates my claim earlier. So, Rob, who laughs at me for some reason, you can just eat it. Also, as
keep
for
it civil.
Cuomo,
Keep it civil. Yeah, and also it's been a minute,
I said
Tiffany.
eat it.
Yeah, I know.
bad.
Let's keep it civil. Okay. It's also been.
You
got 10
I
seconds.
think your beard is really nice. Is that so?
Thank you.
Rob has
Tiffany, go ahead. Wrap.
Okay.
All right. With that being
as
said,
for
wrap it up in 10 seconds.
All right. As for Cuomo, he should be reprimanded if he is guilty. If he's innocent, I can't see why he should resign. Also, keep in mind, I don't like Cuomo, but I'm also an advocate for justice, so I feel like it should go through and see what happens after that.
Okay, I appreciate the closing statements from all panelists. Panelists, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break. It is currently 8:03. Be back in roughly, let's go 8:08. Go ahead and use the restroom, refill your drinks. I'm going to step out, do my advertisement to the stream, and we will be right back with more Drunken Debates.
You're a sneaky
I'll be
one.
right back. What's that?
You're a sneaky one.
Sneaky. Listen,
Damn,
the
you
study.
talk really fast, bro.
You have to.
We
before Rob
should have a
interrupts you.
fast taco. Oh, come on, you were interrupting me too. Don't play the victim.
Because you pivot to like 50
come
every
on.
time we have a conversation. You bring up like 35
Yeah,
fucking
look,
random
look,
things.
Look.
You're literally talking about Trump in a conversation about.
Because you mentioned you compared his
bring him
travel
up.
bans to
Look.
Trump stuff.
No.
didn't say
Wait,
that.
Rob, you did bring Trump up, okay? I'm sorry, but you brought Trump
That
into
was
this.
John. That was
No.
John. I didn't.
Okay,
say
maybe John. I didn't do it. I didn't know I
Maybe
didn't
it
do
could have been John, but I know when
wasn't
you were
me.
coming back at Destiny, you definitely brought Trump into it, and I was like, so when you were coming back at Destiny talking about bringing Trump into it, I was like, that was you, bro.
No, I didn't. I brought it up in response to them. Look, Tiffany's not here, but the study
look,
she
look.
cites is from the Imperial. Well, just real quick, on a
could have been
serious issue,
John,
the-
but-
what she cited was the Imperial College stating that lockdowns work. Yeah, that was the model that was used in the UK and in the United States from Neil Ferguson, that said 2.2 million Americans would die in a do-nothing scenario, and said 500,000 Brits would die in a do-nothing scenario. They've been largely discredited.
That
I'm not
doesn't seem actually
surprised
that
that
crazy
they-
anymore, does it? Considering how much we did try to do and we lost, we're
Sure.
probably going to lose about 650,000
Yeah.
people. I know that a lot of people like you were making
no.
fun of that 2 million figure relentlessly. We're actually like not really that far from it, considering how many steps we have taken.
But listen,
to mitigate everything.
listen though, that's not what I'm saying, right?
Not
they
now,
said
but-
first off, they're discredited by saying a do-nothing scenario, which is literally impossible. Second, we're only a quarter of a way to that, and they said that these numbers would approach that if we didn't follow their lockdown guidance, which they suggested an 18-month lockdown.
Wait,
we
how
didn't
long
even-
are we in the
so
United
even-
States now?
So you're saying we've been in a lockdown like they recommended for 18 months?
No, we haven't, but we started to follow
Okay.
a lot of the guidelines, which is why we didn't hit that 2 million
Okay.
number, right?
But
No,
Destiny,
no. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be
Okay.
right back.
How do you guys, I'm curious, for all the anti-lockdown people, how do you explain places like Australia, where they locked down, the virus went away, and then they unlocked down, and in places like Victoria it started to spring up, and then they locked down again and it went away? Was that just random
See,
chance, or?
I'm kind of mixed on it. I don't think that we should have locked down the whole population. I think that we definitely should have locked down it to begin with because nobody knew anything about it. I don't think the lockdowns were bad to start. Like I think that's a good thing. But the fact that it's been a year now, like we learned more about the virus. We learned that it had a target population, and at that point we should have said, okay, let's look at a way that we can kind of subsidize this portion of the population. Let's look at a way to keep these people out of the environment and maybe we can give those people stimulus checks.
Sure, I
because
don't
we
disagree.
knew
No,
it
literally
wasn't-
nobody
we knew
disagrees
it wasn't as
with this.
But, yeah, we knew it wasn't as deadly to the younger population. So I'm kind of like in the middle. Like I think the lockdown was the right
Yeah,
thing
literally
to
no one
begin
disagrees with
with,
this, but I'm not asking about
I'm
that.
a
I don't
huge
want a
stimulus
moderate
checks. We got
position of
no
like.
payment. We got
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not asking for the moderate position of, well, we needed more stimulus and we should have been like more nuanced with our. Literally, everyone would agree with that.
Yeah.
The question is for people that literally, because there were at least 2 of you in here that were saying that like, oh, lockdowns don't do anything at all. I want to know very specifically, when you look at a place like Australia, how do you explain the fact that they had cases, they locked down, and then they unlocked down, they got more cases, and then they locked down and they went away again? How do you explain stuff like that?
So there's seven.
Can you explain the other cases as well, though?
That's right.
So no
why
one
don't you
has responded.
explain
Okay,
cases
gotcha.
like-
All right, okay.
But listen,
That's all I need.
I'll answer your question. I'll answer it first.
Can you do it without naming another country, Rob? Let's see if you can do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, it'll be tough. I'll try my best. Australia's lockdown was probably far more stringent than other countries'
Correct.
lockdowns, correct?
Yep.
That's the problem. Like
That's
a
not
lot
the
of
problem.
them
That's what we're
effective-
saying we need to do.
No. Listen, no one. A lockdown could possibly be effective if it's almost universal. That was never even attempted in the United States, right? We did what
Tokyo. Wait, hold on. Rob. Okay, never mind. I agree with you.
Listen,
I
you
agree
can-
with you 100%, Rob. Your position,
Wait,
you've taken
there's
my
no
position.
possible
I agree
ways
with
to
you.
go about this.
I agree with you.
This is what I said we should have did from the get-go. I said we should have protected the most vulnerable population and allowed those that were less at risk, that have 99.97 survivability rate, to continue to go about their life as best as possible. And then take the resources, because our economy wouldn't have been collapsing like it is now because we brought down the healthy population, took those resources and used it to protect the most vulnerable people. Now, you could have done that.
Okay, Rob, hold off. We are live now. The break is over. We can carry this on
I
after.
just
By
want
the
to say,
way,
we didn't
are
want to
going
argue at all in here, and Rob was screaming at all of us the entire time. We were all very threatened in here, okay? It was very upsetting.
In fairness, it was good screaming.
All right, everybody take a drink. Take a drink, everybody.
He's clearing his windpipes. That's all.
All right, we're gonna be moving on to the next topic. Now, amazingly enough, that topic, the first one was a softball. That was kind of like the easy one. The next one we're gonna get into is a little bit more spicy, if you will. It is currently 8:09 p.m. CST. We're gonna keep this going. Again, let's do our best to keep it calm, cool, and collected. Share our perspectives. All right, so again, at the end of the stream, we pick 2 winners to win a tankard from tipsywoodworking.com. Really appreciate everybody subscribing to the Drunken Debates Twitch channel for that. All right, again, I'm going to introduce the next topic. We're going to go 1 minute roundtable, or 1 minute intros, and then go into roundtable discussions. So again, for this next topic, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a precursor. Regardless of how you feel about this, all chat, all debate is to be kept respectful. Please take that into consideration, and I mean this. Keep it respectful. I like how Turn to Ash is like slamming that beer right now because he knows it's about to probably come. Chat, same for you. I don't want to risk anybody getting in trouble with Twitch terms of services, but these are hard conversations to have, and they should be had. We should not be afraid to have these conversations. All right, so let's get into it. Amazon slammed after banning books it says frames transgenderism as a mental illness. Liberal billionaire Jeff Bezos, behemoth online retail, and by the way, this is a news from Fox. I am not quoting this as if I agree with it in regards to the defamation, whatever you want. I'm just literally reading from a source. I take sources from CNN, Breitbart, to Fox, across the spectrum, so please keep that in mind. I'm not trying to show favoritism here. I do my best to keep it. What do you got, Chris Stack?
Come on! Can you please link the article because I've not heard it?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
One second. Let me finish the intro and I will actually link it to you. All right, billionaire Jeff Bezos, behemoth online retailer Amazon, is receiving fierce criticism after announcing it would no longer sell books that it says frame transgender and other sexual identities as mental illnesses. Amazon announced that the decision in a letter sent to Republican lawmakers that it was obtained and published by the Wall Street Journal. Senators Mark Rubio, Mike Lee, Mike Braun, and Josh Hawley had inquired why the online retailer pulled Ryan T. Anderson's best-selling book, When Harry Became Sally, responding to the transgender movement, which has been characterized by the Bezos-owned Washington Post as anti-transgender. As a book, and quotations on this part, as a bookseller, we provide our customers with access to a variety of viewpoints, including books that some customers may find objectionable. Amazon works hard to ensure customers have a great shopping experience and access to widest and most diverse cross-section of written and spoken word in retail today. Amazon wrote to lawmakers, "We reserve the right not to sell certain content. All retailers make decisions about what selection they choose to offer, as do we." panelists, my question to you is, how do you feel about this? In regards to, should Amazon be forced by the government, or does Amazon retain the right to choose what they wish to sell and what they don't wish to sell? So, we're going to change this up. Destiny, we're going to start with you. You got 1 minute on the horn. Go ahead, sir.
I think as a private distributor of any good, you have a right, I would argue it's your First Amendment right to have a decision over what you wish to sell. So, I mean, if you don't want to force a particular seller to carry a product, or we shouldn't be forcing particular sellers to carry products, I think that that's okay, that idea. I would say, though, that, like, I think I don't like the idea that a large, like, retailer would start to make, like, ideological distinctions in terms of what they're selling, unless it's, like, a specific type of retailer. So, for instance, if you had, like, a Christian bookstore, I wouldn't see you, like, selling a bunch of books by, like, Hitchens or something. That would be, like, understandable. If you're Amazon and you're selling books, I would imagine that I should be able to go onto Amazon and buy whatever fucking book I want. The biggest problem that I have is that when you start, like, getting rid of books because you think that what they say is, like, bad or whatever, or you don't agree with them, then I think that the next logical assumption is then we should be able to say that every book you do sell is something that you do agree with. And I just feel like that just leads to a really weird world where we start banning the sale of all sorts of books because we think that you must support, like, do they sell Mein Kampf or something on Amazon? Is that a book I can get there? Are they Nazis?
I literally just, yeah.
So, like,
I'm glad you brought that up. I literally just looked it up.
Yeah,
they do.
Beyond fucking stupid. I disagree with that obsession. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna push it over to American Nacho. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, honestly, I'm basically gonna agree with almost everything Destiny said. I have to base this around our constitutional rights. And if they want to not sell these things, then that's fine. But just like he said, I mean, if you have Mein Kampf on there and you have other books like that on there, then you have to kind of wonder. So if you're not selling this because you don't agree with it, then does that mean you do agree with these things? Or so yeah, it just kind of muddies the waters there. So
Yo, what's up, Waldo?
6 Flags or 6 Films. Over to you, sir.
I've been good. How about you?
Again on this one, it really comes down to
I'm streaming all over the world now, just so you know.
I have the right to do it. I think it's right.
Rip.
Personally, I don't think censoring any ideas really is a good idea. Comes from history on that point. So.
Okay, Tiffany, over to you. What do you got? Tiffany, you there? Hold on.
Yeah, thank you. I think I've actually got a lot more facial hair since back when I last streamed when you were on.
I apologize.
Very good. Over to you.
And just so you know, now I'm on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube.
I'm paying attention.
I do games, political shit like I'm doing now.
Calm down.
I hear you. No,
Music every once in a while.
For a reason to have fun, you know. Good times.
All right, over to you.
Anyways,
You've got 1 minute. Go ahead.
1 minute? Oh, fuck. All right, hold on.
And the camera is way better on my other stream.
Is no longer
No, I am not all around amazing. No. I'm a fucking amateur. Are you kidding me? I'm just enjoying it. Thank you.
It's Amazon's best interest not to sell these books that now hold what conservatives would call fake news. Amazon refused to sell books at their own discretion. However, keep in mind these books do actively harm trans people by spreading misinformation at a time when misinformation on trans people is
Yo, thanks for the new favorite.
Is that 1 minute?
Welcome back.
No, you still got time. You still got time. Go ahead.
Also,
Look at all that definition through this freaking fleece, man.
and then you have no dick or a really small dick.
Oh, shit.
You done?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off. Okay, you still had some time.
Can you give me
All right,
links
Chris
on that?
Tech.
On your small dick?
So what you been up to?
Chris Tech, up to you, sir.
I'm not sure it's like a big 9-incher.
Before I do my minute, I'll just quickly add that you were talking about Mein Kampf. I actually own Mein Kampf myself, so that's kind of funny.
Oh my
Work and
God,
school.
I can't have you on this panel. Not
Yeah, my life has basically been work and streaming.
Let's not, just in case.
That's pretty much
Do
it.
you have it just for like reading to like
It's
argue against it, or do you have it because you're like
educational
recreational
purposes.
reading?
It's
It's the same thing.
educational purposes.
Same reason I have rage.
Anyway, with this whole thing about Amazon, I come
Nope.
from working within the arts industry, and Although,
Wait, did you say the neo-Nazi industry? What did you say?
no, I said
thought
the
you said
arts industry.
Arts.
Oh,
the
Jesus.
arts industry.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Jesus, Anthony, stop.
My bad. I'm sorry. I
I
heard that
didn't
wrong.
do anything.
All right, your time's starting over, Chris.
Sorry,
Let's
yeah,
give you a
I'm sorry.
fresh start. Go ahead, Chris.
So I work within the arts industry, and I think with what's happening here is Amazon shouldn't really be censoring it in a way. These books should be there with, say, a warning. Because one of the major things with the arts industry is you don't censor art. It's same with history. You don't censor it. It has to be there for the public eyes. So I think what they're doing is completely wrong.
Okay. Are you finished?
Yes.
All right, guys. If I don't give you the signal and you're done with your statements, and girls, please give me an indicator that you're finished. So I don't want to feel like I'm cutting you off. If you finished before your time has ended, just say, and that's all I have to say, or whatever. I just don't want to interrupt you and make you feel like I'm trying to cut you off. All right, turn to Ash, sir. Over to you. 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm totally not married to like the whole dangerous books. I mean, they do it all the time with some stuff, censorship in itself. I'm a little iffy sometimes, when you go into and you're looking at the medical medium, it's placed to a book from the Mayo Clinic. One's a reliable source of information and one's not. Personal responsibility is important when you're trying to learn yourself. I mean, ultimately, we need a better universal education and evidence against educational practices and this access to information, regardless of the ability to pay for college. But while it's worrisome, it's definitely important to have the misinformation and anti-science sources be kept in public information so that people have access to all kinds of information. And it being Amazon is probably just a grab for attention because this seems like a really small step in a direction that, nobody really asked for. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, Rob, over to you, sir. 1 minute. Go ahead.
First, I assure you I'll never end early. I seem to go way past my time every time. So, no. By the way, I don't mind the personal insults. I think they're fun as long as they're funny.
Well, I just don't want. I don't want to get out of.
I hear you. I take it on good faith. I do. I don't care. So on this issue, yeah, I largely agree with most everyone. I don't think there's a difference between when we see things like social media and sort of the monopolies that they may have on the flow of information versus Amazon. Now, it certainly has a large share in the amount of books that are sold, but clearly there are other options that you could buy books from other retailers, so they can do whatever they want. I don't have a problem with that. I agree it's a bad idea for them to do this. I agree with you, John, the fact that they're selling Mein Kampf. And as American Nacho said, what does that prove? They disagree with this criticism of transgender issues, but they agree with Mein Kampf, right? Apparently, that's what they're saying without saying it. Let's spice it up, though. Transgenderism is an illness, whether it be mental or physical. And even if you disagree with that, it's certainly debatable. So even the fact that it should have some sort of warning label on it is absurd. This is a position within science. This is a position within common sense. And I'm tired of trying to censor the truth to make people feel good. It's ridiculous. And book burning's bad. Book censorship's bad. No movement in history that I'm aware of has suggested removing books and ended up being a movement that was worthwhile. Did I end early? Wow.
You were actually right on time. I'm very impressed. Destiny, down to you, sir. Go ahead.
Wait, am I looping? I thought I did this. I was the first one to go.
You already went.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Oh, I did? Did everybody already go?
Yeah, it's you.
American Nacho, did you go?
Yeah, everyone went.
I waited.
Oh, shit.
I think it's
Man,
because we all just were like, yeah, Destiny's pretty much covered it.
Yeah, holy crap. And then I've been drinking too much. I gotta stop drinking as a moderator. That's bad. Like, I'm losing track. All right, so I'll go ahead and give my statements and we'll open up to roundtable discussion. And as the one user at YouTube says, like, the moderator gets the last word. Like, no, this is just the last word for intros, and then we go into roundtable debate. I will never have the last word to where I counter a panelist or anything like that. So my stance on this is I'm a libertarian in a sense. I'm a constitutionalist. I believe that is a private enterprise. They have the right to do whatever they want. If they don't want to sell the book, don't sell the book. You can get it from someplace else. But I do agree with Destiny, Rob, and the rest of them that it sets a very bad precedence that basically you're selling Mein Kampf, but you're not going to sell a book that is anti-transgenderism. The statement that you're making there is like saying, hey, don't talk bad about transgenders, but Nazism is perfectly acceptable. So I think that it's kind of like the whole Facebook debacle. Like, do they want to step in as moderators or editors? It's the same as Amazon. In my mind, a smart move would have been, we sell everything. We don't agree or disagree. We just serve as a book seller. That's it. If that's the stance you take, I think you're pretty much safe from public outcry and cancel culture. In regards to transgenderism, I'm sorry, I take with all due respect, and I think that this argument is
It's not that
Even
simple.
if I find that somebody I disagree with in regards to suffering from psychological disorder, whatever you want to claim it as, makes them inherently a bad person. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I do feel like that if there's a disconnect between the body and the actual mind, saying in regards to what sex you are, I think that is an issue. I honestly think it is. Does it make a person a bad person? No. You could say the same thing about PTSD, post-traumatic stress. Does that make somebody a bad person because they have this? Absolutely not. But the basis of the argument saying that somebody feels like they're in the wrong body, the wrong sex, that means there's a disconnect. Therefore, there's a disorder. There's something wrong. But again, I feel like the argument's been taken so far off the rails to saying if somebody does have a psychological disorder, they're inherently a bad human being. I don't agree with that. I actually have trans friends, and I'm not saying that, but like, oh, hey, I've got a black friend. I'm not racist. I actually have trans friends. I love them to death. I do. We just disagree on some of these topics there. But that's where I stand. Open for debate. Have at it.
Yeah, that sounds like the whole I have a black friend argument. You have to remember that being
That's why I literally just
doesn't-
said that, though.
Yeah, I know, but it still sounds like that. Even if you like preemptively like try to like stop that analogy, it's harder, Barry. Just because trans people do have a disconnect with their brain and body, it's a biological issue. But not when we think mental issues, we're not talking about just one thing doesn't match with the other. It's more of can you function in society? Trans people are capable of functioning in society perfectly as long as they, they're treated well. Like I know trans suicide rates are high, but that's because they're treated like shit a lot of times by their own family. In fact, it shows that like trans people who are accepted by their parents, suicidality is less likely to happen. I think around
But isn't
like
it,
90%.
Isn't it kind of hard to prove that though? Like,
I'm not done. So no, it's not. No, it's not proof because this is an actual study I can link. First off,
okay.
it's not a mental illness. Based on the World Health Organization, which FYI individuals infinitely smarter than anyone on this panel. If you're in denial, that's okay. Specifically, Ron and John, I get it. It's like it just solidifies my severe low opinion of you. Not so much John, but Ron. That said, people can have this information if they want wrong information. Additionally, I don't think they should sell Mein Kampf. Like just because they sell it doesn't mean I agree with it. I think that should also be removed, and perhaps someday they will remove it, considering all the what people are calling cancel culture is happening. If cancel culture means removing Nazi propaganda, then yeah, I'm fine with cancel culture, okay? And if you want more links to trans issues, this is my bread and fucking butter, so I'm actually
Post them
ready.
if you post them in the chat.
great.
Post them in the, hold on real quick. The links that you have, Tiffany, post them in the whereby chat, and then I'll also post them in the
Which
chat
link
that
do
we're
you
actually
want?
streaming on.
I have numerous.
Whatever one you want to share. Whatever you want to share. Rob, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot to say here. First, you misarticulate what an illness is. An illness doesn't mean that you can't survive or live or something like that. An illness is something that requires medical information to try to get you as close to homeostasis to treat that as possible. And whether it be a mental or a physical.
Hold on. Let Rob finish. He's still talking.
I could
please.
read a dictionary definition if you want, but that's
Well,
not
I'm going
it.
to do it right now for you.
Sure, go ahead. Read the dictionary definition
A
of illness.
disease or period of sickness affecting the body or mind.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait, real quick. We don't go by dictionary here. When we're talking,
It's a sickness, but it's not a sickness.
don't read dictionary definitions ever when we're talking about like APA or WHO rulings. Also, by the way, because the APA or the WHO does not read the dictionary to determine what's an illness or not. I think you should focus on the idea that like the WHO and the APA don't say that being transgender or being a trans person is an illness. So I mean, like I don't know.
It is an illness, so it doesn't matter what.
It's not.
So let's
you
go
don't
through it.
have any
Hold
of
on,
the
let
things that-
Rob finish,
I get it.
please. Let Rob
You
finish.
can just keep interrupting because you feel sanctimonious on the issue if you want, but
No,
it
it's
is an illness,
right.
and it is because, and we'll go through it and we can show why. So, because it requires some sort of medical intervention to help people achieve a status that they feel safe. So, for example, let's just go through a series of questions real quick. Do you think there's a difference between transgender and a cross-dresser? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You muted me.
Yes.
And what's
You
that
want me to scream
difference?
it
Can you
louder?
explain what being trans? Can you explain to me? Define what transgender is.
I mean,
Penny,
do you want
welcome.
The actual definition, like this is.
No, you tell me.
Hello, hello.
Words. It's something.
Do you
You're an
mean
expert
trans
on it.
women or transgender in general?
In general, what does transgender mean?
Of course.
Like your
I mean,
perspective.
transgender mean denoting or relating to a person whose sense or personality,
Yeah, but
personal
what's your
identity and
perspective?
gender.
You're
does
reading
not-
your definition.
Yeah,
but
you
yours-
asked for the
Hold on.
definition.
Let her. Hold on. Calm down. Let her answer. Answer.
You asked for the
Tiffany.
definition. I was giving it to you.
Okay, sure. Let's hear your definition.
Wait, what do you mean? My definition is the actual definition.
Let's hear it then.
I was just reading it to you, and you gave me shit for it.
I didn't intervene.
Go ahead and read your definition there, Tiffany.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that was you. Okay. It's denoting or relating to a person whose sense or personal identity and gender does not correspond with their birth sex.
That's right. And so what it means is that there's something biologically or
has nothing
mentally
to do
wrong with
with
the mind.
preferences. That doesn't.
That's right. I agree. And this is why I bring it up. So if you give me a chance, cross-dressing is not an illness. That's someone who's preferring to wear the clothing and present themselves
Some
as
people
in
would
the art.
actually.
Hold on, Tiffany. Let Rob. Tiffany, hold on. Let Rob respond.
This is a fucking train wreck of a debate. This roundtable, like, people don't get the fucking rules. I hate this shit.
Transgender is more than that. It means that there's there's a disconnect between the mind and what a person feels the sex they are. It's actually, the word should be transsexual, because gender is a word that implies what you identify as sort of socially. Sex is different. So when trans women say trans women are women, they're implying that their sex is actually different. And if you have something wrong with your body, whether it be physiologically or mentally, that you think you were born in the wrong body, thus you require some sort of medical intervention, whether it be hormone therapy, surgeries, and things like that. That is an illness.
Why do you
right?
why do you think you have the authority to stand against the APA or the WHO on this? If you say that you have the science on your side, right? Most of them recognize, like, everything that you're talking about, the thing that requires medical treatment isn't being a trans person, it's alleviating gender dysphoria. Like, that's what's considered the underlying mental illness, is if you have gender dysphoria.
So that's the next argument. So gender
wait, hold on, wait. I'm not going to let you reframe things so dishonestly. That's not the next argument. That is the argument. That is the official stance of the APA and the WHO. That's not the next argument.
So then let me ask you.
All right. Hold on, real quick.
Great call.
Destiny, frame your question to Rob. Rob, respond, please.
Yeah. So the actual position
so
of
you're
the
saying-
No, hold on. Let Destiny talk, Rob. Let Destiny talk. Destiny, frame your question to Rob, please.
Yeah, I'm just restating. The WHO and the APA state that gender dysphoria is the underlying illness, and that's generally what is treated, not being trans.
All right, go
Can
ahead,
you
Rob.
be trans without having gender dysphoria?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, can you? So what does that look like? And this is the first time I've heard the answer yes.
Sure.
So perhaps I'm wrong.
Sure. So I'll compare it to body dysmorphia, I believe, right? So some people, so you might take two people the exact same way. One person might be or both people might be overweight. One person feels an extreme mental distress as a result of being overweight, and it might drive them into other mental issues. They might feel depressed, anxious. They might commit suicide as a result of it, etc. Another person might be overweight, but they're just like, fuck it, it's okay. Like, it is what it is. And you can make comparable arguments to trans people. It's possible that you are a trans person and you identify more closely with a sex that wasn't assigned with you at birth, but it doesn't cause you a great amount of mental distress. That's the difference between being a trans person versus the experience of gender dysphoria.
Okay, but that's clearly not all that's being treated, because if that was all that was being treated, then we would be treating the mental issue with things like depression. We wouldn't have, for example, surgeries to change the genitalia of people, because that has nothing to do with the depression.
But it does, though.
Hold on. We're going to Rob, then over to Tiffany.
Yeah.
Rob, go ahead.
So real quick, I'll leave you respond, Tiffany. Yeah, no problem. So it's clear, like, this is a fun game that's played. So, for example, we hear oftentimes that the government should, in places where people are registered in government entities, whether it be in the military, in prison, things like that, we say that the government should be responsible for paying for surgeries, gender hormone therapy, etc., things like that, because it's a medical condition. But then on the other hand, we say, how dare you call it a medical condition? So I'm more than happy to accept, no, this isn't a medical condition. If we say, therefore, no insurance should have to cover any therapies for it, no government should have to cover any transition therapies or hormone therapies, because it's not a medical condition, it's an elective surgery. It's an elective treatment.
It's not elective.
Over to Tiffany.
We already have a remedy to help people with gender dysphoria, and that's remedy involves matching their body to match their mind. And this has been done by studies, which I will link to you if you need it. So it's not like we don't have a remedy for this. We do. It's just not a remedy you like. Also, I want to roll it back like Walmart, Rob. That you said some people dresses and trans people. You do realize some people do consider cross-dressers as mentally disabled or inept.
I do.
Additionally, we don't think we know we are women. Trans people know we are. That's why we transition. No one actively wants to make their life harder. Being trans involves a lot of time, money, and grief. You can't take out my brain and put it in a cis woman's body and just fucking fix it. It's impossible. So we have no choice but to match our bodies to match our mind. During development, the mind doesn't always develop the same time as genitalia, and one can lag behind the other. This is like definitive proof that trans people exist and are valid. And if really you thought we were mentally disabled or like messed up, then why are you pitying people with actual mental disabilities but shitting on trans people? It just makes you look really, not just stupid, but really bad, Rob.
Hold on. I gotta pause.
Rob,
I
you
gotta
don't
pause.
respond, you stupid
Hold on.
idiot.
Oh, calm down. Let's not phrase
I mean,
this
it is
as far as
funny
somebody
'cause it
shit.
is
Hold
him.
on. Stop. Let's stop framing any kind of statement saying you're shitting on someone. A disagreement does not mean you're shitting on someone. It's a disagreement. If Rob starts name calling, I would correct him. Tiffany, please take that into account.
Alright, so Rob, you have a nice
respond.
beard.
Thanks.
Oh my God.
mind
I
you.
don't mean it
Look,
like that.
I think you're just you're it's an issue that's close to your heart. I get it. Let me just say some caveats here to begin with. Every single trans person that I've talked to on my channel, I've called them the pronouns they've asked. I admonish people that think that they should make fun of people for being trans or fear people for being trans. That's bullshit. I say that it's an illness. I have deep loved ones that are bipolar, that are schizophrenic, that hear voices. I love them more than anything. That doesn't mean I believe the voices are real. So just because we're talking about this in a clinical sense doesn't mean that I'm suggesting treating people like shit that I think have this illness. Now, everything you just said when you talked about, well, my brain development, blah, blah, blah. Yes, when we have other things where you have brain development or hormones aren't catching up, those require medical interventions. Those are basically illnesses. Those are things that are medical conditions that require interventions. That's what transgenderism is, as you said. So it is a form of illness. That's what it is.
What about breast implants?
Hormones aren't correct or things like that, or whether it be a mental illness because the brain is not in line with what the body is. Regardless, it is an illness. Your own statements prove it. The idea that people want to have their cake and eat it too, they want to say, well, it's not an illness, but at the same time, it is an illness that means that insurance should have to cover therapies for it. The government should have to require therapies for it if people are in government institutions is nonsense.
My statement is not law, but you have to remember that the World Health Organization agrees with me. So who are you to like go against those people?
I don't give a shit.
Hold on. I'm gonna.
I love it. I love what arrogant people always say that shit. I don't give a shit what the fucking authoritative source says.
Excuse me.
Okay, well, you're
so my
smarter.
thing is, like, Tiffany, this is really dear to your heart. We get that. We're not trying to be mean to you or anything. I mean, okay? So, the fact that transgender is, in fact, a mental illness. It is. You can say it's not, but it is. It's just another term. Let me finish.
It's actually not illegal.
Hold on. Go ahead. Six Flags.
So, according to the
This is fucking brain dead, dude.
A person whose sex assigned at birth does not match their gender identity, but they experience gender dysphoria.
No, that's not true. Not every trans person experiences gender dysphoria.
According to the AP, I can send this article.
Was this written back in like 1982? Do you want to like link that?
Can you link the article in chat, please? Six Films. Destiny. In the meantime, over to you, sir. I'll share the article to the chat.
So yeah,
Destiny,
so to be clear, unless something has changed very recently, the APA does not say that every single trans person experiences gender dysphoria. And if you personally,
I misspoke. It's some people.
Okay. That's really important. Okay, so if you want to hold the position that being transgender or being a trans person is a mental disorder, you can hold that position. That's fine, but you stand in opposition to like the scientific community when you say this. So like if you want to hold that opinion, you can do that, but you can't simultaneously hold that opinion and be like, oh, I just follow the science. Oh, well, I just want to be fact over feeling. But that's fine. But that's like your emotional viewpoint on it. It's like emotionally you feel like it must be a mental illness for whatever reason, but you stand contrary to like the psychologists that are the ones that are responsible for publishing what is a mental disorder and everything.
Destiny, hold on. I gotta interject here. Destiny, do you feel like the WHO has ever been wrong on certain situations? Because at one point we actually classified homosexuals as being mentally unstable as well, and that was actually approved by scientists everywhere.
Yeah,
is it possible that the scientists could have it wrong and be flawed? And let me two-part question here. Is it possible for them to be wrong? And two, do you think that political alignment can also influence the outcome of certain, say for example, studies?
So for the first thing, yeah, of course scientists can be wrong, but you update your information as time goes on. Like they could be wrong about a ton of things right now, but I mean, I'm not going to say that, like, I'm being scientific when I stand in opposition to the scientific communities. You can say you believe the science is wrong and then give your reason why, but you can't say, I think the science is correct, and then, like, say that this is something that I'm going to say that's in opposition to the science. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
So for the first part, but the second part, could scientific people, like, buckle to political pressure or whatever? It is possible in some cases that maybe that could happen. That just needs to be demonstrated. We can't just pull that out as a convenient card every time. Like, oh, look, like, they were just being, it was just political pressure when I wanted to be and not when I don't want to be. Like, that doesn't really make any sense. Like, lefties, communists try to do that when they argue about econ. Like, every economic study is flawed and biased because the neoliberal blah, blah, blah. It's just like, okay. And then conservatives seem to do that when it comes to any social science. Like, oh, no, like, all of these sociologists are all like, you can't.
Okay, we be on break now. Good shit, Kitsune. How you doing, man? Sorry you had to see that right there.
Huge study that was pulling all of that private data showing that I don't remember if this is related to hydroxychloroquine or something else related to the treatment of all those people. Like, that study got thrown out later after it was published. That study got thrown out. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, science is definitely wrong sometimes, of course.
6, over to you, and then over to Tiffany. 6, go ahead.
I was being a goof and doing like fucking little 80s hand dance moves.
Pull them back up. Turn to Ash, got you back. Sorry about that. All right, over to Tiffany, then over to Rob. Go ahead, Tiffany.
We're also listening to some brain dead discussion on transgender issues.
And, just to bring it back, the topic was whether these people should remove the books from Amazon to purchase. And considering, as of now, the scientific consensus disagrees with Rob, 6, and other people who have that mindset.
Yep.
They probably shouldn't sell them, and they can. I just don't think they should. It's not in their best interest, and that's what I think the whole point of this initial.
Into this one.
Yeah, it will. Well, I mean, the topics, to be in all fairness, the topics tend to, and this is your first time on the panel, so I introduced the topic, and sometimes if the topic goes off, I'm okay with that, because it's ultimately it's conversation that needs to be had. But Tiffany, I do want to question you on that.
I didn't realize we were trying to, like, branch. I'm used to being on panels where we have to kind of, like, stay on topic, but you're like, yeah, just float.
No,
you know?
I love seeing where conversation goes. I don't want
conservatives here are wrong who disagree that, trans people don't have mental illness. But, I mean, to be fair, conservatives are wrong on, like, fucking everything. So, like...
Hold on, then we'll get to Rob. Tiffany, I want to counter you, not on the trans issue. I want to go back to the Amazon issue, saying they shouldn't be allowed. I'm correct me if I'm misquoting.
They shouldn't be allowed.
No, I'm okay. Oh, they shouldn't. Okay, so I wanted to clarify on that.
They should be allowed. I think it's against their best interest, but I don't think they should do it because I think it will not benefit them for selling.
Yes. Saturday Valheim for sure.
I mean,
okay. I misheard you.
I built myself
I thought you were of the position.
one of Thor's hammers, dude.
They should be able to sell the books. I just think that they shouldn't because it's against their bottom dollar and it's going to make them look bad. That was my point.
Okay.
And corporations, it like optics are everything, and that was kind of what I was getting at.
Gotcha. Okay. Over to you, Rob.
Okay, so let me ask Destiny and Tiffany, since they seem to be ones disagreeing with me.
But
so
really, though, it's like
the only way that it's an illness, transgenderism, is if you have gender
because
dysphoria, which
one
means that you have some sort of mental unwellness.
auto splits into 3,
then gender dysphoria,
and then there's this one.
The illness. So let me ask you this. Do you think that one of the defining characteristics of transgenderism is that there is a lack of well-being of the body? So in other words, any transgender person, do you think it would
I'll tell you later.
their body to be able to transition to make their physical body what matches up with their mental image?
Can you repeat?
Hold on. The question. Hold on. The question was thrown to Destiny. Destiny, please respond.
I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it if Destiny wants. Do you think that it would benefit the body's well-being for all transgenders if their physical body and their hormones matched more up with their mental image of what they think their body should be?
Yeah, it would probably benefit everybody in society if they could, like, idealistically match their mind to their body. Yeah, of course.
Okay, so it would benefit the well-being of their body?
It would benefit the well-being of everybody in society. This isn't unique to trans people.
Sure.
Yes.
APA Dictionary.
Oh, really? I beat the 9th boss just 5.
Illnesses.
Wait a second. Did you really?
Well-being of the body or the mind.
You're on the
That's how
9th?
they
No,
define it. So
Rob,
if
Rob,
we're
Rob, Rob,
saying-
listen, what you just did, okay? So you just said, could somebody
Jesus.
something related to the body and mind?
Also,
and
what
then if
about
you
these
can't-
boys?
Like, the fact that you can improve something doesn't make it a sickness prior to that.
Correct.
You're trying to play like a word game here to trick us into thinking the APA has a position that it doesn't. Or I'm curious, why do you think that with the little word trick that you're trying to do here, right? Like what you've essentially asked me is like, do you think that if you had a healthier diet, do you think it would make your body better? And I go, yeah.
No,
of course.
okay.
I'm like, "Ah, so you're sick right now, aren't you? Well, no, that's not how it works. Just because I can improve my mental or physical well-being doesn't mean that I was sick prior to that improvement. Of course not.
No, your analogy is actually pretty reasonable. I'll give you that. But the point
Oh,
is
there's
that-
only 5? Okay.
No,
I was going to say, dude, Jesus.
right. Well,
I feel like
You haven't done the third one yet, have you?
Miracle.
trust me, we're not going to go much. I feel like that you're just being disingenuous when you say we all know that the reason I brought up the difference between cross-dressing and transgender is because we know that there's physiologically or mentally something that requires an intervention to make people more at peace or better well-being with their body. That is the definition of an illness. That's
No. Nope.
Over to Tiffany. Hold on. I
That
promise
wasn't the
Tiffany.
definition of
Tiffany,
illness.
then American Nacho, then Chris. Tiffany, go ahead.
I think
I wasn't done. Not first. Sorry.
I think they're partially missing something really important here, which is that like an illness is generally something that you need to fix for your own physical or mental health. Like health, not just satisfaction with your position. I mean genuine health.
Hold on. Let's hold that question.
Whereas reassignment surgery and even hormone therapy is not necessarily because you're unhealthy.
Maybe it ties in, maybe it doesn't. But you said something. I mean, you said it way earlier. I wrote it down.
Or you feel unhealthy or some shit like that. Think you're close to starting them nice.
But then when you were talking about it, you said that it has a treatment. So I was curious. I don't really understand what it is to you
trans
then.
people requires a treatment.
Because he asked you, like, do you think that maybe
Not
we
everything
should
that
remove
requires a
it from?
treatment is classified as an illness.
I think
If
mostly
you have a
it is.
cold, is the cold?
I don't know. I
like-
could be wrong. I'm not an expert.
Yes, that's
I
an
don't claim to be
illness.
expert. But I'm just curious.
Yeah, she fucked that one up.
Hold on.
I think it's they fucked that one up. That's a shitty analogy.
I just don't understand. I'm curious as to know how you see this, because I think the question that he asked you that you responded to that was basically like, do you think that, it should be kind of like a boob job, like it's not something that you need necessarily, or that you have to have.
Trans people
I just said this like fucking 10 minutes ago.
mental stability because they're trans. They have to match a body to match their minds. So getting our
Why do they have to?
Stop.
No,
making my argument. That's why I'm laughing.
Scientific consensus.
Rob's
is
a fucking
against
piece of shit.
So you can laugh all you want.
Well, I'm not
because-
going to argue.
Why is that?
No, you, American Nacho. I'm talking to Rob. Rob's like,
All right,
feeling
let's go
really
ahead.
upset
Push it over to
because.
Chris. Let's go ahead and push to
I'm not
Chris.
upset. Laughing is the opposite of upset. Just so you know.
Well, no,
So-
I
Over to
mean,
Chris
you
Tech.
can portray
Over to
it
Chris
like that,
Tech,
but
please.
no.
Stop. Rob, Tiffany, time out. Chris Tech, go ahead.
So what it really, at the end of the day, whether you think it's a mental illness or whether it's not, at the end of the day, it is down to that person. Really. It's not soft to anyone yet. You can, prove them all this and all that.
Well, but
Hold on.
But the
American
question-
Nacho, let him finish.
No,
him
let him
finish.
go.
Well, the question that Rob asked, I thought was sort of valid. Like, should we basically require, health insurances to cover this, or government subsidized health insurance to cover this, like Medicaid and stuff like that? Should they be covering these operations or treatment?
It should.
Okay, hold on. That's a very good question. I want to push it over to Destiny. Had his hands up.
Yeah.
In that question, American
Yep.
Nacho, it's a very good question.
Okay.
Destiny,
That
over to you,
works.
sir.
Okay, I guess
Take that.
What is a mental illness?
So maybe you can do the third and then help me prep up and do the second and third, and then we can do the next two together or some shit.
Requires medical information or intervention.
Okay, does the APA concern itself with these types of definitions?
I don't give a shit what the APA does, and the idea that them and the World Health Organization have bowed.
That works.
Scientific
That's great. So
enterprises
then
have
do you-
bowed to pressure from graduates.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't
So
give a shit.
Do you agree then that you don't stand with the science on this?
I agree. I don't stand with people that are the most vocal.
You don't
in
stand.
science
That's
that are
okay.
pushed
That's
by
great.
the
So you
mainstream
don't
media.
stand. So then don't say that you stand with the science. So don't say you're making a scientific
Oh
argument.
no, I'm with the science.
No, you're not with.
Chromosomes are
No,
real.
you're not.
Biology's real. No, biology's
Wait,
real.
wait,
I'm
wait,
with the science.
no,
Take
no,
away an
no,
argument.
no,
I'm
wait,
with the
If
science.
you believe, wait, then
Yeah.
why do you take a position contrary to the scientific organizations that are responsible for making these types of declarations?
No.
Anthony,
no.
welcome.
I'm taking a position contrary to specific scientific organizations that are bowed to political pressure in order to put a
Oh, really?
specific.
Can you give me an
pressure.
example of a? Can you
organizations
give me an
of those,
example of a
Rob?
scientific organization then that agrees with your take on this? Is there any?
Yeah,
Well,
There's
sure,
not a
but
single
it's
one.
not-
Rob, there's
Okay,
not.
Okay, hold on.
It's not
Hold on.
an
Wait,
issue
pause,
that's near-
pause.
Sure, I'll
Rob,
let-
hold on. Rob, go ahead and take a break. Do the research on that one, please. We're going to push it back down to Tiffany. Tiffany, unless your question is geared at Rob, let him do this research, please. Unless, if it's not, we'll push over to Sixth Film. Tiffany, do you have something to say that doesn't involve Rob?
That doesn't involve Rob?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
it's
leave
fine.
her talk about it. It's good.
No. I want to allow you to get that because like she
embarrassing.
hold on. She was allowed to go and do the research for what she needed to do. Rob, do the same thing. Focus on that. So let me go ahead and pitch it back to turn to Ash, and then we will delve into American Nachos topic. And be advised, we have 15 minutes left on this topic, and we'll continue to the next one. Turns,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to.
It's hard to argue with exact sciences when you're talking about transgenderism because you're talking about something that's psychological, and psychiatry isn't a science.
What?
Yeah, well, dude, come on.
That's not true.
It doesn't.
Are all social
Look it up.
sciences fake to you?
Psychological explanations are reduced to specific times and places. You can't do that with people.
Wait, what do you mean? Well, how can you not do
So
this?
let me ask you then. I get where you're coming from. Are you saying that it's not a definitive science, more as in the practice? Say, for example, like the practice of medicine, the practice of psychology.
This is fucking insane. I've heard the game gets hard after the third boss. Oh shit. Well, good. Then I'll need your help, especially since you're fucking lapping me on bosses. This is so fucking brain dead, and I hate. This is conservatives. This is conservatives. This is the
Medicine not a
argument.
science then, right? Wait, do you agree with that? That medicine is not a science?
I don't understand how you can be so arrogantly, diametrically opposed to science while at the same fucking time saying I'm with the science.
We don't know what the
You're
underlying
literally
mechanisms are.
not.
We can't really explain exactly what they do. We just make trials of people where we give them a whole bunch of medicine and we see what the end results are.
Literally.
So
With a
why?
scientific
Hey,
process.
If you
Oh,
get
wait,
a
so there's a
headache,
scientific
you
process.
Take,
So do you-
like Tylenol or Advil.
Wait, do you understand that
that's
there's
a medicine?
Do you understand that there's a scientific process by which we do psychology experiments as well? Like,
Yeah, they guess.
wait, what?
They guess.
What do you mean by
That's
they
what
guess?
they do. If you go in there and you talk to somebody that's in the
No, they don't, you fucking idiot. They means test everything in order to figure out what the most common answer ends up being, and then they further refine and adjust as they learn more. It's an evolving science. That doesn't mean they guess. Unfucking believable.
That's not what was said
Yeah,
by
wait, okay.
either of you. Let's
Wait,
not.
you do know that-
Nobody said there's something inherently wrong.
There's a
Let's not-
process by which psychologists do research. There's a process by which they test their ideas. There's a process by which they follow like scientific method to come to conclusions about things. Why do you deny that?
Gotcha, Six. Got the crest. All right, let's
because
go
they're
over real quick
still
to
not
Six. Hold
having a
on.
definitive answer to anything.
You can't have a definitive answer to anything that's too macro and level. Biology is the same way. There aren't definitive answers in medicine or biology.
Are you telling me in biology that they can't definitively tell you that cells split from each other?
I'm just we can maybe say
That
that, but
an
in
atom
terms
split,
of
that's
in
micro.
terms of saying why, that's a really hard question. Biology is much softer than something like chemistry or physics. Yeah.
I'm afraid. Okay, hold on. We got to move on to Six and then to Chris. Six, over to you, sir.
So I just wanted to just quickly get a definition for mental illness or mental disorder real fast, just so that we all are on the same page. This is from the APA. A mental disorder is any condition characterized by cognitive and emotional disturbances, abnormal behaviors, impaired functioning, or any combination of these.
Yep.
Just
Over
wanted
to
get
you,
that
Chris.
out there.
So when it comes to mental illness,
Gotcha, Tiffany.
it's definitely down to, when they're trying to like confirm something as some illness or disorder, there are usually common symptoms which they use to help their guessing, to help give the best answer. And this has come from, decades of research. So that really should be took into consideration.
Over to Tiffany.
There's actually numerous research that
Rob.
may imply to why some of the reasoning that they took us out, not just because of more advanced science in regard to gender and sex specifically, but also a lot of people will argue that XX and XY determines if you're a male or female, but fail to take into account that trans women's brains and vice versa, male to female brains resemble that of their cisgendered counterparts, but heavily like resembles, not just like a little bit. And that is a biological component. So when people say XX and XY doesn't matter, but brain structure, which matches that of the sex that you identify as heavily doesn't, it's kind of suspicious, and that could also be a component, at least according to the article I'm reading.
I do. So I want to interject my own thing, then we'll go to Rob. Back to Destiny's thing in regards to the comparison of psychology to biology. I think there's a stark difference there in regards to outcome. I think in regards to psychology, yeah, I think a lot of it is based upon there's no like definitive right versus wrong in my perspective of saying like, you know, how do I say this? In biology, I feel like biology is kind of like empirical evidence backed. Like we know about chromosomes, we know about all of these things.
So
hold on. Let me just explain myself, because I feel like maybe I'm going off topic, or maybe I'm not explaining myself clearly enough. I feel like in psychology, it's just a matter of there's a lot of the possibilities of what it could be, versus in biology, it seems like if we have like, how do I say this? It's more definitive. It's more empirically backed through the actual science versus psychology. I mean, if we look
it's not though.
Let me come back to it. I don't know if I'm actually saying it the right way that I'm thinking, but it just feels like
no, you're trying to make an argument that is literally above your intellect. That's the problem.
Psychology, it's almost kind of like the practice of
you're speaking on shit without actually having the requisite level of knowledge to speak on the issue.
People make this bad comparison between like biology and psychology because people will look at microscopic claims made biology and pretend that that's where all of the big claims are made. So for instance, like, so Rob's earlier question of like, do we know that mitosis happens, that cells divide? Well, yeah, of course, but that's not interesting. And whoever asked that earlier, turn to Ashton, right? That's not interesting. We know that, right? That's fine. Like, this would be comparable to a claim or a system in psychology, say like related to operant conditioning, right? Do we know that there are some ways to condition a behavior based on a reward that will make that behavior more repeatable? That's like really basic, easy psychology. The problem is that with psychology, we're really trying to answer really big, really complicated questions. These are really hard to answer for every scientific discipline. So to compare like a very precise claim, like, do we know how, you know, like RNA reads DNA and, you know, makes proteins? Like, sure, like we might have like a microscopic thing like that, but on a more macro level, for instance, like how do we cure cancer? What do we do with Alzheimer's disease? Like we know the little plaques that are involved, we know the little prions involved. Why can't we do anything about that? You know, like how do we get people to lose weight?
So no, I see where you're going here. That makes sense.
Even for something that we've been doing for thousands of years, like how do you build muscle the most effective way? Even this is something that's like argued about, you know? And these are the more macro claims that are really in the domain of biology that are really hard to answer. So when people take something like, well, in biology, we know that like we can make a vaccine, right? Well, what do we do in psychology? Well, we implement a ton of psychology in terms of how we discipline our children, in terms of how we teach things to people. Like we just don't have broader like answers like why are some people evil, right? That's like a way harder question to answer. Sorry.
Yeah, not to mention.
Over to Rob, then to Tiffany. Hold on, Rob, we'll go to Tiffany, and then we're going to go into closing statement. Rob, go ahead.
Everything Tiffany says is actually buttressing my argument that this is actually an illness. So let me be specific here. The term illness
dude, that's another thing that fucking conservatives do, and it pisses me off.
Requires medical intervention.
You'll reframe people's perfectly logical arguments and say, well, you're just making my point. No, you're literally reframing your point. That's just
actually an illness, because then if it's not an illness,
the mental gymnastics, dude.
And say you don't have gender dysphoria, then none of your insurance nor the government should cover any of the treatments that you're receiving. Secondly, I was asked to provide for a scientific journal.
Again, he's missing the point.
I know people are going to want to interrupt, and then you'll say move on to someone else. And here we go. Is gender dysphoria an illness?
Yes.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here, the link I posted in the chat is from the Healthcare Association of Virginia. It says, and I quote, gender identity conflict is called gender dysphoria, a term that means dissatisfaction. It involves a conflict between a person's physical or assigned gender and the gender they identify with. People with gender dysphoria feel distress over this conflict, often in an early age, but sometimes not until puberty or later. The distress stems from the way they feel and think of themselves being in contrast to physical gender. Another term for gender dysphoria is being transgender. So there you have it. There's a scientific group, a Healthcare Association Association of Virginia.
Wait, link
the
this.
official
This is
healthcare
whatever they
official-
just cited. This is not
It's in the
correct.
chat.
Yeah,
in the
link
chat.
this. Show me your.
It's in the
crap
chat.
No, no,
I-
hold on, hold on. Calm down.
Gender dysphoria is not the same thing as transgender. Like, that's just, you're so stupid. If you can read a single line out of any article like that and go, oh, look, see, nailed it. You're such an idiot. Look, just look up the fucking definitions, okay? They're not the same thing. They just can't be.
To the entire audience on the debate panel on Drunken Debates. Rob finished, and we're going with Tiffany in the middle of the closing
And then
argument.
last,
Go ahead.
the last
All you
thing I'll
need
say
is, like, frankly, a little bit of anecdotal evidence to throw that argument in the dumpster.
Actually shows that they are actually identified as not having a limb, a finger, or something like that. So my question to Tiffany and Destiny, based on your definition that it only is an illness if it causes you mental distress. If someone literally believes I identify as someone who only has one arm, but it's not causing them mental distress to have two arms, does that mean that's not an illness?
That's not the same thing.
Equivalency.
Why?
Why is it a false?
You just got done telling us. You just got done telling us that one of the defining characteristics of transgenderism is that your brain literally does not match with the physical characteristic of your body. That's exactly what body dysphoria is.
Real quick, just as a
people's
quick thing.
brains-
This is just a blog post from a for-profit hospital. This isn't like a medical authority or anything.
Yeah,
I don't know why you
is-
linked
it's
this.
It's
Rob.
like an opinion piece, Rob. You wanna throw some more?
It's from the Healthcare Association of Virginia.
Why is
South
this a
Health System.
Why is it a .com address?
Poll
If
or
this is-
Reddit and
So
get
why?
some-
So if it's a government organization, then it's more legitimate as opposed to people that are caring for people in a healthcare association.
No, I'm just saying
of
that,
a
like, I
state?
like, well, no, this is like a state. This is just like a really weird thing. Like,
It's just
Literally,
absurd appeals to authority.
Rob
Look,
Barker
the
posted
argument,
the exact
it's
thing
just
that I
absurd
said.
appeals to authorities. Like, I just asked you a logical question, right? If
wait,
we're
hold on.
saying
Okay,
if Tiffany's
HCA.
example
This is
true,
this is a hospital system, Rob. This is not like a state like medical body or anything. This is just.
I
like
mean, again,
Welcome
you're saying
back, my
that
dude.
hospital systems aren't critical medical experts?
no, they're
I
not.
was asked to
They're not in
provide-
charge of the research of the or the diagnosis.
I was not
Brandon,
asked
welcome.
to provide a .gov source. I was asked to provide medical experts saying that it's an illness. That's what I did.
This is okay.
All right, so real quick, hold on, I gotta step in. Hold on, I gotta step in real quick. We gotta go down to Tiffany, and then we'll go into Destiny, and then we'll go.
Holy
into closing
shit.
session. Tiffany, go ahead.
I was just gonna say maybe Rob hasn't been listening, and I get it. Conservatives, you all have trouble listening. I understand. And reading, by the way. But well-being doesn't mean our bodies and our bodies are like our physique per se. It means our happiness as a whole. So you can literally be healthy and still not be happy with your body. And when
Yep.
people refer to mental illness, and when I say people, I mean like conservatives like you, Rob. They usually refer to people nowadays who have people who can no longer function in society or have trouble assimilating in society and having issues. Trans people don't inherently have that issue. Trans people can join the military. Trans people can get jobs. Trans people can do fine in every aspect except their gender identity is different. It's not like we're crippled's the wrong word.
Can I just real quick?
Disabled.
No, hold on.
Hey, this is the final thing before we go to the next topic. Remember?
I know you don't want to talk about it anymore.
Calm down. Hold on. We are not in. Hold on, Tiffany.
Bro, oh man,
Just to clarify, this is not closing statement.
I would shit all over Rob.
So
Okay.
this is
Well,
we will get to that. So Tiffany, go ahead.
Live welcome. I'd break the fucking rule and I'd shit on him.
I'll tell you what.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
I've had enough of this guy's fucking lunacy.
Have those issues. They can function fine in society as long as
It's
they're not like shit
it's
on,
like actually making me angry.
or sick or turned. So
This guy's perspective and his ability to listen is just
like
dog shit and non-existent, respectively. Like, it's embarrassing.
Morning, like fucking muttering to ourselves, looking for like money or to like yell at a car or something.
And I'm not a huge fan of her either. You know, her or them. I don't know, but I know there's.
Can I ask a quick question?
See anymore.
I know that person, I believe, identifies as trans. Anyways, like, it's just,
Hold on, Tiffany, stop. Stop, hold on.
like, this is a train wreck of a discussion.
Tiffany, Rob, stop. Destiny, you had your hand up.
Because-
Destiny, real quick. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Hold on.
Tiffany was getting to the correct point. So we've talked about this a ton. So what a mental illness is, generally the APA, the way that we define mental illnesses are people whose ability to assimilate into society are severely inhibited. This is what a mental illness is. These weird definitions of like mentally unwell or body doesn't fit, blah, blah, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that before. My understanding is that when the APA seeks to classify something as mental illness, it's something that severely inhibits like your ability to hold a job, your ability to take care of yourself, your ability to maintain healthy relationships, and other ways in which we integrate in society. Every trans person does not experience dysphoria, or at least not to the degree that they are unable to do any of those things. So if you are a trans person, if you are a trans woman, if you have a male body, but you feel like you identify internally, your gender identity is that of a female, if you are able to go to school, hold on a job, have friends and stuff, and it doesn't cause such a severe distress that it inhibits your ability to do that, you wouldn't say that this person is mentally ill. That is the APA's position on this. My understanding is that's how most psychologists view this issue right now. That's how this is treated, like, full stop. If you want to say that it's an illness for whatever reason and you want to make up some weird shit to do it, that's fine, but it just flies in the face of how we understand what mental disorders are, how we treat them, how we diagnose them, and how we understand them.
Man,
All right, so real quick, I gotta hold on. No, I gotta interject here real quick. We're going to closing statements here, otherwise we're gonna continue going over time. Hold on,
you
Rob.
gave Tiffany what she wanted. She couldn't answer the question, so she's happy now.
You didn't give me the question, but whatever it was going to be really dumb. Fuck, you can DM it
Right.
to me.
You're
All right,
really,
calm down.
you're
Okay,
really
stop. Calm down, panelists. Stop. Tiffany, Rob, stop. The ad hominem is going to stop. Knock it off. Okay. If we cannot adhere to the debate panel thing of let's keep it respectful, then I'm gonna start muting people. All right. We're going to go into closing statements, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic. Ad hominem will stop from all sides. Anybody. Does that make sense? We good with that?
Sorry, yes.
Tiffany, Rob, we good with that?
Sure.
Yes, in fact, I love
Okay.
Rob. He's bae.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I want to be
Calm down,
with my
chat.
accent.
Calm down.
Here they go again. Dude,
All right, let's go into it. We're going to closing
stop being
statements.
a fucking
Kristen,
childish
Rob, we'll
idiot.
start with you. Go ahead, you got 1 minute.
Oh, where do I start?
You don't need to be called out on the shit and then go, Rob has a nice beard. Shut the fuck up.
About where this derived from.
Just stop attacking each other. Don't follow it up. Just stop attacking each other.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
The topic.
When it comes to the issue of transgender,
Am I getting old? Fuck.
shit on them all you want. That's basically when it comes to mental illness, I have no comment on that.
Okay, Tiffany, down to you. You got 1 minute. Go ahead.
Oh wow, I wasn't even done. Okay.
And here's the thing. It's not to say I wouldn't have thrown out at least a little bit of ad hominem against this complete fucking moron. The thing is, though, I would have done it once, and I would have, like, made my point, and then just let it be. And if someone who is literally the moderator, the authoritative person who's running this shit, says, okay, it's time to stop, don't fucking say anything after. Like, you don't need to be sarcastic. You don't need to be facetious. You just need to shut the fuck up and stop doing that. It's not that hard. Like, these people are acting like children trying to have a grown-up fucking conversation, which means the tone of the conversation is that of child level.
The APA is still teaching.
It's embarrassing.
Psychology degrees, and I can personally attest to this because this is one of my majors. We still learn that transgender people are still classified as a mental illness. It's that simple.
By the way, this is stupid people voting too. These are the people that vote in our elections.
It's true.
Like, yeah, you gotta love democracy, right? These are people that are voting in our elections. Completely fucking brain dead.
PTSD, all that stuff. So it's that simple. It's not a mental illness. It's a mental disorder. There's a big difference. This has been wiped pretty much from being used.
Okay, over to back to Tiffany. Go ahead.
Shit makes me angry.
Rob's back. Rob, I know things sounded heated earlier, but I'm having a lot of fun, and
Me
so
too.
don't leave mad. I'm having
I'm not.
This is more childish justification of the ad homs. This is insane.
Rob, I think I'm having a lot of fun playing with you. So don't don't be a hater. Anyways, that said,
No, I'm having fun. Like, we're doing fine. Fuck off. Just, you're not listening to the tone here. You don't understand that, like, your rhetoric and the way you're having this conversation is helping no one. You can say you're having fun about it after the fact, and oh, this is all just in good, we're just jabbing each other. It's all in good, good fun. No hard feelings. Fuck off, and fuck off. If you're trying to have a serious conversation about something that is this important of an issue, there's no space for any of that shit. None.
Who are Christian or any other kind of religion, and if you don't think that they should be classified as such, then maybe you understand what I'm talking about. Is that PG now?
That's fair. Yeah.
Okay, no, the only reason I say I don't want people taking subtle jabs at anybody else in the panel is exactly what's going to happen. Is
meant to be a jab. It was just building off what he was saying. But I
understand, but the problem is it leads into a whole different thing of people wanting to continue the debate. It needs to be on topic by itself. Nacho, over to you. You got 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll try to. Man,
And by the way, if I were the moderator, everything I just said, I would say to these people in the fucking moment. I'd make every single one of them feel like a goddamn child. So maybe, just maybe, they shut the fuck up.
These individuals, I think it's better if you really think that people are releasing this kind of information or posting these things or writing books like this that are really terrible and bad faith and they're completely false and they have no factual basis to them. I think it's better for them to stick their necks out and be out there in the public eye where people can be critical of these things instead of having these people banned off every platform and then now that's kind of circulating underground. I think you just shouldn't buy the book. Just the same way you should just hit the block button. If you don't agree with what somebody's saying, block them. If you don't want to read the book, don't read the book. So, and I understand that I still kind of come from that like constitutional perspective of like it's their right to decline to sell it, but at the same time, I think it's better if we have all this information out there.
All right, going up to Rob for 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's negative things I could say about Tiffany, but let me say a lot of positive things. First off, it's hard to have a conversation about something so near and dear to your heart. And I don't mind anything you said to me. I take everything with a laugh on my face, really, and all of these panels, including this one. So please don't feel that you coming at me, I'm taking it bad at all.
This is still not helpful.
Better than most times, so I'm having a good time with it. I agree. I think that actually Six Film made the excellent point there that based on the definition that we hear being alleviated here, that would mean that anyone that has schizophrenia, depression, bipolar, as long as they're still functioning in society, that wouldn't be an illness. That's just absurd. It's semantical and it's appeal to authority to say, well, actually it's a disorder, not an illness or something like that, or because the APA says it's clearly true, we should interrogate whether or not, even if experts are saying it, that it makes logical sense. The truth is, Tiffany made the best arguments in this round about how your brain doesn't match up with your body. That proves that by any colloquial definition that it's an illness or it's a disorder or something that requires intervention. And the question that no one was able to answer and isn't able to be answered in the realm of actual politics about this is, does this mean if it's not an illness that we should stop requiring insurance companies to pay for treatments? Should the federal government no longer have to require treatments for people that are in the military or other governmental agencies?
All right, Destiny, down to you, sir. 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that you should be not selling books on your platform because you might disagree with some of the ideas, and then that's really weird as a bookseller.
Agreed.
Anybody that is doing a formal education related to psychology should know what the DSM says, and the DSM very clearly, between 4 and 5, changed gender identity disorder to being replaced with gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria does require, according to the DSM, some severe mental distress that persists for at least 6 months that affects you either socially, occupationally, or your relationships. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this one with my own. I didn't do it last. I'm going to go ahead and put it this way. I have to agree with a lot of the panelists on this one saying that as a private company, they reserve the right what they choose to or to not sell. I don't think the government should come in and say that you should be required to do this. Ultimately, it's up to Amazon. In regards to transgender issues, in regards to trans rights, look, I think your rights go beyond that into human rights. The way I see it is, don't care who you love, don't care what you do to your own body. It's your choice. I completely and 100% support that. I just don't want to pay for it. I think it's a live and let live. That's a libertarian policy of essentially you do what you want, I do what I want. You should have access to the same things that I do. There should be no discrimination regarding your sex, love of another human being, race, religion, doesn't matter. You are free to do as you wish in your country as long as you don't infringe on the rights of other people. And like I said, I just don't want to pay for it. That's all I have to say about that. Panelists, we're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break. It's currently 9:10. Please be back at 9:15. Refill, use the restroom. I'm going to address the chat real quick. Yes, sir.
Turn to Ash got disconnected again.
Oh, hold on. I'll bring it back.
Thank you, Six. See, Six Films is
I'll be right back.
quintessential panelist that's always on
Isn't
top
this
of
the
this
second
stuff.
time Turn to Ash at this issue? Are you okay, Turn? Like, is it your internet connection or?
He has an illness.
Listen, I'm gonna use the restroom. I disagree with John,
Yeah, he's not
but
back.
the topic's over, and I'll talk to him another time. I'm having fun. I'm gonna go urinate, and then I get another drink, and I assume you should all do the same. And if you don't urinate, then you're a fucking camel, and I commend you.
All right, we're on break. Rob, what's the question you said people won't answer?
Like,
What do you keep saying? People.
Right, it's the question I said. Does that mean if it's not an illness that we should not require insurance companies and government agents to pay for these treatments?
Correct. You should only require insurance. That doesn't require. Wait, careful. Hold on. Insurance should only be required to cover the treatment of gender dysphoria, not of just being a trans
Yeah,
person.
he did say dysphoria was on the list, not just.
Do you
being
think?
trans.
Okay, so do you think that could be easily exploited? That a trans person that wasn't experiencing gender dysphoria?
No.
If you think that could be easily exploited, then literally every single psychiatric illness could quote unquote be meant to discuss.
Correct.
No, that's not true. Because no, real quick.
No.
It's hard to respond.
Please, I'm the
Some
only
people
trans person here. Let me defend it. As
I
a
don't
trans
give a shit.
person, there's a
I
lot
don't care at
of
all.
fucking. Yeah, I know you don't care because you're fucking dumb. But
No, because I don't believe
trans
this victimhood
people
mindset that your
have a
identity
lot
means
of
what you can
hoops.
talk about.
Trans people have a lot of hoops to fucking hop through. You can't just be like,
Okay.
oh, let me hop on hormones. Oh, let me get the sex change. It doesn't work like that.
Yes, you
When
think
I
that's
said a
what
lot
we're
of
talking
time
about.
being brief and you totally ignored it because you don't give a fuck about trans people, and I don't know why. Maybe you've had like 2 sexual partners and like.
Since you're responding, did you have gender dysphoria?
I mean, I'm like specifically like, did I feel like I
Yes.
wasn't?
Dude, he didn't just, like, see, this is two children arguing with each other.
No. Dysphoria is
Right there, he didn't ask a complicated question.
Body
Like,
dysmorphia.
what were you confused about?
I don't know if body dysmorphia
but
is
still an
characterized
illness.
as an illness or not. I'm not sure. Right, we would-
Still an illness. Anyways,
body
did you have an
dysmorphia is
illness or not?
classified as a disorder.
Wait, listen. I only have a finite amount of pee, and I really have to pee. So
Oh, that's
I'll be
fair.
right
Go
back.
pee. That's fair.
Listen,
That's
Rob,
fair.
I think you're fine if you want.
240, that face? What?
I would love to talk to you about it. I would love
Yeah, I
to.
mean, I'm
Yeah,
talking
I'm
to
about to
Renax,
more
so
people.
I'll talk to you too. So
Let me be clear. Look, go ahead. Go pee. Yeah. Look.
Yeah, I really have to pee. Like Rob.
Do you hear in his voice how right he feels like he has to be? He has to be correct on this. You can hear it in his voice.
Your insurance.
Like, you can hear how he speaks. It's like, I cannot let this go. I have to be right. You have to believe me.
There's not an
fair
the
take.
difference is this: that even if you don't have gender dysphoria, if you're trans, you still say it's beneficial of you to receive these treatments. Correct?
That's true of a whole bunch of different things where you might not have a particular illness. Maybe blood thinners would
That
be
would
a
also
particular
just depend on the person.
I had someone in chat asked me, they were like, so should I be able to get Botox too? Because there's studies that prove that your physical looks can improve depression, etc.
Sure.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but it
wait.
also
This is
Botox
this
can
is
help with your
this is par for
So
this is par for the course. Okay, so for instance, if a woman has breast cancer, she sometimes after getting a mastectomy will get like breast reconstruction surgery, which is essentially a boob job, right? A woman can get that
Right.
after as well. Sure. Or people will get facial reconstruction surgery for whatever. Yeah, of course. It just depends.
But that's different. That's elective. Look, that's
No. What I just said, I don't. The reconstruction of your breast or whatever, or reconstruction of your face or whatever, I don't think is considered elective surgeries.
I mean, I will admit that I don't know
Yeah, it's
how
like-
that's qualified. I can tell you this, as someone who works with people with developmental disabilities, these pricks won't even pay for crowns on their teeth because they consider that elective. Instead, they say you have to remove the teeth. because it's
I don't know
or
how that
somehow-
plays into anything we're talking about at all, but okay, it wouldn't surprise me.
It might be to the medical
Okay, but
industry.
my question for you guys though is, should we be treating the disorder specifically, or are we just letting them have it?
Trans people are
You know what I
considered. It's
mean?
not considered
Like,
a disorder. Wait, where do you said you go to
I think
school
we
and they
might be
teach
going
that
back
being
and,
trans is a
we
disorder
might
or
be
illness?
going live again in a minute.
Yeah, we still get taught in psychology that.
Wait, is this like a
Transgender
Christian
is
university, or what do you?
classified as
why are they teaching you things that are explicitly
No,
like not stated in the
public-
you
DSM?
gotta
public
think.
university.
Most universities probably aren't on the new
It's a public
WHO,
university.
whatever.
and a
If you look at
and a
books,
No.
psychology
Hold on.
degree.
This okay.
They
Fuck.
classify it together.
Okay, wait, real quick. Okay, fuck the WHO. I don't care about the WHO. Okay, the APA was published in 2013, and changes were made to that before the new edition was published. So I'm really curious what type of school you're going to where they're teaching things that are explicitly not in the DSM or that are contraindicated in the DSM. That's incredibly weird to me.
Science more than politics?
What
sounds like a
is
good school
but the
to go.
no, Rob, you already abdicated your position of science. You already said you don't agree with the science, so stop saying that, okay?
I agree with science. I didn't agree with political organizations that are making political points in rejection of science.
You don't have any
That's what I-
scientific body that you can point to that agrees with you. The only one you pointed to is a private hospital company that just has a blog page that like poorly uses some terms.
They have every single medical organization prior to 2013.
Okay, and I've got medical organizations prior to 1900 that says that black people have big craniums and make them stupid. What kind of argument is that? Like, what?
Okay, so your argument is in 2012, all these organizations were insane bigots?
No, it's not about being bigoted. My argument is a scientific. Hold on, we're still peeing. Oh, John, listen to me, John. Tiffany's in the bathroom. If you start the show right now, you are being transphobic. You got to take 5 more minutes.
Yes.
All right, so real quick, no, we're not gonna. I am gonna wait for Tiffany. I want all panelists here. So let's just comment down. Hold on, Destiny. You two part. I love having you two on the panel. You have a great discussion. Let's calm it down a little bit. Let's calm it down. Okay. Let's calm it down.
Let's paint some paintings together.
Let's
I will
paint
be
some
honest.
painting. There we go. Let's have a little painting. Let's have a little painting.
as long as we get them shipped to us, it's fine.
All right, so I'm
Happy
back.
little paintings. All right, so Tiffany's back. All right, so we're gonna go into the final topic of discussion. It's 9:17. We will end the stream roughly at 10 o'clock p.m. CST. I don't like having this
Jesus Christ, dude. We missed the follow up to that. I'm really sad.
That too.
So,
Our conversations have to.
just to say
There's no
something,
way around it.
Wait.
Oh my God.
I don't want to interrupt the topic. Hold on.
We're talking about Lola Bunny next. Is that a hint to our next topic? Or? I'm sorry.
There we go. We're going to talk about Lola Bunny's breasts or the lack thereof and how that offends people around the world, both sides of the political spectrum. All right, no. So we're going to the final debate discussion, and I know maybe some people won't have an interest in this, but I feel like overall this is something interesting, and I'm glad that we got Christek here because I think Christek will have a lot to interview or to weigh in on this. So let me go ahead and get into this. Harry and Meghan, yeah, you know where this is going. Just deal with it. Harry and Meghan's Oprah interview dented the royal family brand. I feel like Alex Trebek, God rest his soul. Introducing a new topic here. The greatest damage for the monarchy lies in what this has done to the international reputation, one expert said. This article is taken by NBC News. By Alexander Smith. London, Prince Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey has seen the royal brand take an almighty transatlantic beating. But just how much damage will it cause is yet to be seen. While the British monarchy has had and here's the thing, I don't even have to read chat. I'm not even reading chat, and I know there's a lot of patrons there. I ain't giving a fuck what the monarch said in 1775 or 76. Well, you know what? It's a topic of discussion. It's trending, and regardless whether or not I like it, it's being discussed, and that's what we do here. Harry and Meghan's portrayal of the royals as deeply out of touch, uncaring on mental health, and unsympathetic to, and even complicit in, the racism they say drove them out of the country could seriously dent this argument not only in the United Kingdom, but also in the United States and Britain's other former colonies. In parentheses, go back 100 years, and the royal family would probably have hoped that one of the justifications for their existence was that they were meant to represent the best of British life, end quotations. The royal author and historian Sarah Griswood said, begin quotations, that's got pretty hard to believe over the past decades, and this interview sure doesn't help that, end quotations. Ladies and gentlemen of the panel, in regards to the interview with Meghan and Harry, and what you see the effects of this being in regards to the monarchy, and then also the spillover in regards to the topic of racism, How do you see this being perceived on the world stage as far as how Harry and Meghan went about it? But I will not limit your.
I don't even understand the fucking topic.
Just this. If you feel like it goes beyond this, by all means, please elaborate. And Chris Stack, being I know that you were just so excited to weigh on this, sir, we're going to start with you. You got 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay, I've been watching the Royal Family for the past few years now. And this is probably one of the biggest crises that they have had since the 30s, when the abdication took place. In my view of this, I'm very on the fence about the interview, because although they were trying to speak out about what was going on, this feels like very similar to the Diana interview back in the 90s, you know, trying to call them out. I'm too pumped up with energy right now, so I'm trying to get.
This got you energized. Like trans issues, nothing. This, the monarchy, that got your dick on.
So what I'm going to say right away is the monarchy itself is outdated in the modern day. That's why I'm going to leave that for now, and I'll let whoever.
I'm not trying to pick on you here, but if that's your version of energized, like Rob, like I don't even know what you are at this point. Like you're like super energized. Like Chris Stack, like I'm sorry, I didn't get energized. I got like I'm.
It is
I'm
like
very
3 in the
excited
morning
about
though,
this.
right?
Well, yeah, there's a difference between energized and unhinged.
Trying to be respectful.
I'm so excited about this.
He's
like,
a
my
decent
heart is
human being,
racing
and I'm a
right
piece
now.
of shit. That's the difference.
I didn't make that comparison. That's not what I meant. I meant that Rob was so energetic, and then we see.
That's what
Chris
he
like,
meant.
"Oh, I'm super energized about this. It's just like, okay, all right, we're gonna kick this over to turn to Ash, sir, on your phone. What do you think? Put down the Pornhub. Focus. What do you got?
He's probably watching one
You
of
know
my
how it is.
videos, honestly.
He's
Tiffany,
Googling, but he
I got some pretty hot fucking stuff, so I'm just saying.
All right, over to turn. Go ahead. I should get a percentage of that, by the way, plugging your shit. But go ahead.
Plug in the source. I guess.
I didn't even mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Go ahead, turn.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it's like Christek said, he's very representative of what happened with Diana in the '90s. I mean, there's always been a problem with Meghan Markle and the Queen since this has all begun. The problem is you can't.
Okay, well, this is a
100 years.
I don't know. This is a dumb conversation.
Racist for 70 out of the 100 years. Sorry,
And frankly, I don't really give a shit what's going on with the royal family.
That she wants to get away with. I mean,
Like,
if she doesn't have any true power in it.
I don't know why the royal family is under such a fucking lens in the first place.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, it's such an arbitrary. I don't know. Who fucking cares? So this is. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here because I'm just not interested anymore, and I think that debate panel is trash. I think the people that were speaking the most should not have been speaking damn near at all, and I think probably the smarter people didn't speak enough. I mean, including Destiny to a certain extent. I understand his exercise of care and all that, but there was just way too much unhinged bullshit that did not get pushed back on the way I think it really needed to. And that's why, listen, if we're having a conversation about something that has nothing to do with sciences and things like that, and we disagree on certain things, that's one thing. But like when you're just going to sit there for an hour and have, half the panel say they're in line with the science while literally arguing to the contrary of that science the entire time, like that's just not a productive conversation. And I don't think that's something that people should really watch that much, frankly, because I think, let's talk about this free exchange of ideas, right? Let's look in the context of the First Amendment for a second. If you're going to make such dog shit takes for an hour, there's got to be at least an hour worth of much better argument that points out your dog shit for you know, like for the playing field to level out, I think. And I think the moderator controlled it a little bit too much in certain respects at not the best times also. So I know timing of moderation can also be a huge factor into the overall tone of a debate or a conversation or anything like that. And I think that the employment of the moderation was ill-timed in parts. And I think some of the moderation should not have taken place more than once, and it did because it wasn't sternly enough implemented, and that's just not how I would have run it. I'd have called out those idiots, Rob and Tiffany, on their bullshit so fucking hard. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they felt just a little bit nervous about carrying on with the same tone after I laid into him about it. Like, that's how I would have handled it, because I just have no tolerance for that type of fucking rhetoric and that type of argumentation and conversation. It's just bullshit. It's toxic. It's not productive. It's counter-intelligent. Like, it's just ridiculous. So while I understand that a moderator's job is to maintain a reasonable level of decorum, sometimes maintaining a reasonable level of decorum is shutting shit down. And that's what I would have done. I think that discussion probably could have been much more productive if it was more heavily moderated. And because it wasn't, it was just a disaster. So I hate it, you know. And Destiny does a good job sometimes at saying, like, no, I mean, listen, you know, I just want you to understand what you're really saying when you say the things you say. And so what you say is you're against the science. You're saying literally, I'm with the science, but everything you're saying after you say that is against the science, and you just need to be aware of that. You can try and recharacterize your own arguments all you want, but that's exactly what other people are taking from what you're saying. It's that simple. And if you can't rethink your own position and realign yourself with science and logic and common sense, then again, that's fine. But don't act like you're the arbiter of truth on the issue when people are literally telling you as calmly as possible, you're literally fighting against science here. It's just that type of shit, frankly, doesn't deserve that much airspace. It just doesn't, because it's just pure bullshit. Like, it's mis and disinformation for the sake of your own ego. Like, Rob, I mean, you can feel it. He's got the ego the size of Texas. And it's just like, I don't give a shit about your ego. I really don't. Don't care. If you're going to have an ego at all, at least fucking be right. At least be right. Now, it's not good to have an ego regardless, even when you are right, but at least be right for the love of Christ. Anyways, that's how that went. So we'll do some Valheim tomorrow instead of politics shit and listening to insane people think they're smart. Because here's the thing. I know I'm smart. A part of it is knowing not to do shit like this, you know? So, anyways. Perspective, the crazy thing. Yes, so Valheim tomorrow, it will be cool. Let's see, I'll probably get on, I don't know. I'm thinking, well, let me ask you while we're chilling right now, what time do you usually get up on Saturdays, your time? I didn't realize I asked you such a tough question. Okay. Okay, so that's one my time. So yeah, I mean, you want to plan for maybe 1:30, something like that? All right, that works. And let me ask you this before I call it. How was my voice in comparison to the volume of the conversation we were listening to? Because I made a little bit of a adjustment in terms of volume balancing, because I looked at a past broadcast of mine, and the video, like the audio of the video we were watching, I think it was one of the other Destiny things I was watching, it was way too low. Like, it was actually hard to hear. My voice came through fine, but it was hard to hear. So I'm glad to know it was good this time. I still want my voice to be dominant over the source audio, of course, but I'm trying to get a better blend for the sake of, all of viewers and anyone watching the video after it, or when I get to the point where I decide to start turning out some YouTube videos, I want the volume balance to be much better than it was. So good to know. Okay. On that note, I'm going to sign off. But thanks again for hanging out, man. This was a busy week. Otherwise, I would have been on earlier than Friday, given that shit. When did I last stream? Sunday? Something like that? Yeah, it's crazy. So anyways, I'm glad to be back. Tomorrow's going to be fun, and I'll see you then, man.